Hey all, J-Man here. I just want to tell you about beardedshirts.com. It's a great place to get a lot of cool superhero shirts and other merchandise. You can scroll, they've always got sales on. As you can see, they've got these really cool print all over shirts, which I really love. That's Eddie, the founder of the site. And if you're looking for stuff, all you got to do is you click on the search here and you can type in all over. And that's going to show you the all over prints, which are really, really cool. Look at that. You got Legion of Superheroes, you got Brave and the Bold, you got JSA, you got Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, all kinds of stuff. So check out beardedshirts.com. Hello, Legionnaires. Welcome to a random live stream on a Wednesday, but it is Transformers Week. It was the anniversary of the original animated series Transformers. That was yesterday, so we did a quick little stream just to talk about Transformers and talk about how much we love it and all that good stuff. Today, we're doing something that I didn't think I'd ever do, which is we're going to be ranking the Michael Bay / whoever did those other movies. We're gonna basically the live action Transformer films. We're gonna try to find one that's half decent tonight. It's gonna be a difficult task. We might be able to find some scenes that are half decent in some of them. So we're gonna do our rankings and just have fun with it. And if there's some time at the end, I'll invite people to come in and give us their rankings, and you can start giving some of your thoughts in the comments also. Before we do all that, I gotta tell you what's going on. I'm going to see Transformers 1. I'm not going tomorrow, unfortunately, but there's not going to be a stream tomorrow. But I am going to be going on Friday afternoon to see Transformers 1. So I'll post a review for Transformers 1 probably Friday afternoon. I am actually looking forward to it. It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon of Transformers in the theater. This is the first time since '86 I saw that first movie in the theater. I loved it, man. I still love it. It's one of the best cartoons of all time. But Friday, of course, is Fantastic Fridays, covering 4 more issues of the Fantastic Four. We are not too far away from completing the Fantastic Fridays. Then we're going to go to Avengers. It'll be every Friday we're going to be doing Avengers until I say otherwise. But we'll at least do at least 100 or so issues before I say nay. So that'll be Friday. Saturday, special stream. With our Legionnaire friend RR and our channel and another friend of the channel, Classic Comics. We're going to be talking about Darkseid versus Galactus, The Hunger. This was actually pretty epic. It was all fighting pretty much. Orion versus Silver Surfer. We've got Black Racer showed up. I was so pumped when Black Racer showed up. That was epic. I mean, Darkseid versus Galactus, that's fire. So that's going to be on Saturday. There's no excuse. It's Saturday night. Unless you're, you got something cool to do, but for the rest of us nerds, Saturday night is the nerding out night. So Sunday, special stream on Sunday. We haven't done one of these in a while. We're going to do a Transformers 1 open talk. We're going to let everyone from the chat come in and talk with me. So we're going to open it up to the Legionnaires first, of course. You got to open it up to the channel members first. Once they're done, I'll open it up to everybody else in the chat who wants to come and talk about Transformers 1. It'll be spoilers, so be prepared for that. Then, of course, Monday, the flagship, the Legion live stream, 3 more issues of the Legion of Superheroes. We've got the Dark Circle. Wow, that's going to be epic. We got Dawnstar right there on the cover of that first one. That's great. Look at that middle cover. That is absolutely bonkers. That is a bonkers cover right there. So it's going to be really fun on Monday. Let's thank the members, and then we can start. I got to thank Dan, of course, Sean, who's waiting backstage, Steven, who you've seen on my wrestling streams, Brennan, you've seen him in the chat from time to time, Mark D with a C, you guys all know who Mark D is, RR, who's going to be here on Saturday with me talking about The Hunger, Philip, who's been commenting on all of my Star Trek videos. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. S182, of course, Scotty is here for our Dazzler streams when I do those. Next one's going to be Dazzler, the movie, the graphic novel. That'll be fun. Digger Jim, and of course, Mark from Legion of Comics, who is determined to convince me that the Michael Bay movies are not trash. He's not going to do it. He's threatening to come on later tonight. We'll see if he accepts the challenge. So far, I've never changed my mind on a movie since about 1942. I think was the last time I changed my mind, and I wasn't even alive. So therefore, that I couldn't have done that. Of course, we always thank our legendary Legionnaire for life, our good friend Mike Alonso, who passed away not too long ago. He wasn't a big Transformers guy, and he definitely did not like these movies, but we thank him on every stream because he is going to be a Legionnaire for life. So thanks, buddy. We hope you're resting in peace, man. Alrighty. Can't do Transformers without bringing in Decepticon, of course. So let's bring him in. Yo.
We're going to chew bubblegum and talk about worthless movies.
Yes, I love it. You've already.
No, it's a question of intelligence, so your opinion has very little relevance.
Sorry, I'm on Blake's 7 round 3, and Avon's my favorite character of all time. So we're gonna be hitting the Avon quotes hard. Every episode has like it's impossible. Every episode has like something he says. You're like, oh, and sometimes there's like 2 or 3 lines in each episode. All right, and we have a special guest now. He's been on a few times here and there sporadically. Mostly he is on Owen's channel, which is the actionelite.com. That's the website. And Owen has a YouTube channel, which the link to that channel is in the description of this video. So make sure you guys are subscribed to Owen. And also make sure you're checking out actionflix.com. The link to actionflix.com is in the chat right now. Scroll up to the top and click on that site and bookmark it. So we have John from ActionFlix. I'm just going to bring. You know what? Let me give you an intro here. Hold on. Let me give you. I'm going to give you the Army of Darkness intro.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. I'll take it. Hey, talking about worthless movies is my forte. This is going to be
that's why we're here. That's why we're aboard her. No. What's up, Joe Dog? Joe Dog, what are you reading tonight, man? What's going on? Teen Titans number 23, 24. Do you like Teen Titans? I couldn't tell. I wasn't sure if you like Teen Titans. We know he is Teen Titans. FK's here. Hail, buddy. Thank you.
FK.
There's Sean's channel. Subscribe. I think everyone here subscribed to Sean. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notification bell. Actionflix.com. Make sure you guys bookmark that website. Great action news on there. And you got a Facebook group on that? I don't think too many. Do people use Facebook as much anymore? Or?
Actually, funny story. I don't know if it's real now because I've got these in the past. I got a message from supposedly saying that I've done bad things and they're going to delete my page. But I've had
whatever.
I know. So it's
so check out the website and the links are there. Check the website.
And that's X or Twitter or whatever the hell you want to call it, and Instagram and YouTube, of course, where I do my podcast.
Yeah. Dick Grayson's your favorite Robin. Yes, I do like that. I do like Dick Grayson is Robin. I always thought Dick Grayson would just grow up to be Robin, like in Earth 2. Like the Earth 2 Robin, where he's just a grown up. I just like it, not like, oh, Robin's a mantle that you pass on. I thought it was just like, oh, he'd grow up to be Robin. Yeah.
And a Punisher.
Punisher. Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm wearing Cup today. Transformers. I only have 2 Transformers shirts. This is going to be fun. It is. Listen, every stream of mine is fun. Stop it. You know that.
It is. I have a Transformer comic, Transformers V.
Yes, we all have. Yeah, we do. I don't have that one. I have that one on digital though.
I don't have any. Like I told you before, I got it for $1 today. I was like, and it had Snake Eyes on the cover. Anytime Snake Eyes is on the cover, I'm like, I'm getting it.
Yeah, Snake Eyes is a favorite. How many Transformers will die? All of them. The franchise. Well, the franchise won't die. We can make fun of these movies, but ultimately, I think it's a positive effect if you break it down. Because more people are talking about. I'll get to it. I'll get to it in a minute. Silver Surfer's one of your favorite superheroes. Yes, he's awesome. Do you like the Kirby unknown origin, or do you like the Nornrad, Zenla, Shalabal, all that kind of stuff? Mark is in the chat, buddy. Legion of Comics, our channel, one of our channel members. They're fantastic. Yes. Oh gosh, you're gonna try to make it. Yep. We're gonna try to talk about Michael Bay. I think I saved that picture. There was a picture last night that I was hooting and hollering over. It was awesome. I'm gonna get that back. I was gonna make. Yeah, I was gonna make it the icon, but then I didn't do it because it was just too weird. Okay, but I've got the picture. I'm gonna make it an overlay, just so you guys can see the epicness of Michael Bay. I'm telling you, this should have been the poster. If this was the poster for Transformers, it would have been way better. This should have been this should have been the poster. Boom! Look at that. Yeah. It's like, I want you guys to go check this movie out, and if you don't, you're a loser. You can just see he's literally pointing at people, and he's thinking in his head, if you don't think my movie is good, you're probably a loser. You can just see it in his face.
Though he's saying I'm rich anyways, I could give a flying F what you think about, because people still let me direct movies.
I gotta get some Michael Bay gifs. Get some playing on there. You love the Kirby one, yes? Okay, cool. And Sorcerer Comic series, yes, that's a good series. And then they did cancel it. They did cancel that, yeah. And I don't know what Silver Surfer did. I didn't think he did any. He didn't post anything weird. It's just his series just got canceled. He didn't do anything weird on Instagram or anything like that. Okay. So Steve just messaged he can't make it tonight, but that's okay. We don't want him on here anyways, which is fine. I replied back. I was just like, okay, good. I didn't mean to send you an invite, so that's that. We'll I'll say this about the Bay movies. We'll talk about how we came about them, but I will say this. We talked about this a little bit last night. The sound production. So none of these films, if you're using my space system, none of them can get below a 2 out of 10 because the artistry is, I know the artistry of the Transformers themselves, they look too weird, but the way that the action is shot and the sound is unbelievable. I put last night in, even when it starts, like even just like a credit, and I'm not sure which Transformers, and I'm sure Mark will tell me, or one of you guys might know. There's ones where it just starts off, it's like, and it either does a logo or something. Even that, and I've only got 5.1 surround. It's absolutely like, whoa, like shit, that was good. And then that Camelot bit in the beginning of the worst movie of all time, which is The Last Night. If you can watch that in one sitting, you deserve a medal. I had to watch it I watched it twice, and I've watched it. The first time I watched it in, I think, 3 sittings. The second time I watched it, 5 sittings. I'd watch half an hour. I'm like, I can't take anymore. I've got to take a break. And then I'd wait a few hours and watch another half an hour, and then I'd wait a few hours. It took me the entire weekend to watch it. Hey, Just Joe, how's it going, dude? Anyways, but the sound production is amazing. It should win an Oscar. And I like, action movies. Obviously, they have good sound and stuff. But this one, like when he shoots something, it's like, and like if a Transformer gets hit, it's like, it's like, like it's like someone accounted for every chunk of the Transformer falling. Like when even if a guy gets toppled, it's like. And you're like it's not even Lord of the Rings. What's another one? Star Wars. What's another? What are the big movies? Like, I don't know, Harry Potter, any of this. None of them have this sound effects of any of these. The Last Night is the worst movie of all time. If it's not your worst movie, you better have a backup plan as to why it's not the worst one of this series. It's absolutely dreadful. But the sound is just unbelievable. And there's some crazy action. Like, I mean, the last 20 minutes is if that movie was 1 hour, I'd be way more into it. Like, cut out all of the dialogue, like all of it. Don't have talking.
Yeah. I don't even remember what those platforms were, but they're on platforms of Earth. And things. Yeah.
Do you know what's going on?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Nobody knows the plot of part 5. I went to Wikipedia, and it says plot synopsis. I don't know. Ask Michael Bay. It literally says ask Michael Bay on Wikipedia. I'm just joking. Of course, it doesn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Someone.
I have it on the IMDb. I mean,
no, because there is no plot to that movie. There's no story at all. It's random nothingness happening. But okay.
Yeah.
We'll start with John. When not with your ranking, when you first so Transformers is announced, new movie coming out, live action, because I mean it's heavy CGI, but live action, new film coming out, you're excited, you're like, okay, Transformers. So what was that like? And then also, what was your if you can remember, your out of the theater reaction to seeing part 1?
So Okay, so without ranking,
without ranking, just like think back to part 1. It's coming out. I'm seeing it next week. It's this week. I'm seeing it this weekend. And then you go see it, and then you come out. What was your reaction?
When I first saw it was announced, I was jazzed because I'm a fan. I'm from a kid. It was G.I. Joe and Transformers every day after school when I got home. So it's like, how can you not get excited for a live action Transformers movie? Then, of course, I was skeptical. Cautiously optimistic, but skeptical because I'm like, how are they going to do this? How's it going to work? Is it going to look like are they going to look like a bastardized version of the cartoon and this and that? And then you hear Michael Bay's doing it, and then you're like, okay, yeah, like, well, we know it's going to be bombastic. I saw the trailer. I remember the first time I saw the trailer, I was excited, and then when I saw the movie, I went opening weekend, of course, and I liked it, and I walked out pumped. I was like, that was a great Transformers movie. Did they look kind of weird? Yes, but it's like, other than that, I got over it. I'm a very forgivable person. Like, as a fanboy, like I fight with other people because, like, I'm like, listen, it's like if they do things a certain way, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm not as like with some of these guys where like they come at me on my website and they're like, how can you like this remake or this reboot? I'm like, you can love the original, you can like a remake. It's like, it happens all the time. So yeah, but yeah, when I saw the first one, I thought it was, I didn't think it was the greatest movie I ever saw, but as the 9-year-old kid in me, I was jazzed when I walked out of the theater. Awesome. At the end, it was great. It was like demolished. Like, everybody talks about like when Man of Steel came out, and I know your thoughts on Man of Steel, but like everybody was complaining about like the death and destruction of the city, but like in Transformers movies, it's like times 10. But it's okay because it's robots, and
it's a war, right?
Yeah,
like it was like, I think with Superman. Well, I walked out of Man of Steel ultra pumped.
He was kind of like
I was like, this is the greatest movie. Well, it's not better than Christopher Reeve. Nobody ever said that, but I was jacked up. I was like, hell yeah, because Returns was so disappointing. There's no action. This was like the antithesis where Returns try to do all this stuff and have this garbage drama and all this story. And this it's a terrible love story, sure. And this kid and all this. And then Man of Steel is like, okay, you know what? Screw it. Let's just have massive action. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. I was like, well, this is crazy. And then it was like, then you calm down. And then you're like, okay, this movie kind of sucks. He stood there while his dad died. Like, this is the dumbest shit ever. And we're going to IMAX. Like, when you're in IMAX with the massive sound, even with like somebody says, like, like it makes the movie better, right? Like it makes it because you're just so into it. And Man of Steel does have amazing action.
It does. Sure. And so yeah, the whole last half finale, you're just like, it's just like an assault on the senses. And like Zack Snyder and Michael Bay are like the kindred spirit. They're like two sides of the same coin, if you ask me. So some good, some bad, whatever.
Yeah, I think and Sean, you're gonna go next. The only time I was right from the theater where everyone else was wrong was that garbage Star Trek movie. I walked out of that. I was like, yep, this is complete horseshit, trash, garbage. The very
first one? The original?
I don't know, whatever. The one with Chris Pine.
Okay. So
yeah, no, not the real Star Trek. Whoa! I love the motion picture.
A lot of people hate that movie came out.
A lot of people hate Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Well, those people are fools, and I'll beat them up.
I like everyone's come around to it.
I liked it. I'm not a Star Trek
love it
per se, but I love the Star Trek movies.
Yeah, I super love it, like badly. Like it's like one of the best science fiction films in my opinion. Anyways, no, the garbage Star Trek movie. I knew that was garbage right away. I also knew Transformers 1, like this movie, Transformers, was garbage right away. So I was wrong on Man of Steel because I got suckered in. I get suckered. The thing is, I can get suckered. Superman is always going to sucker me in. Listen, I can't. It's like if I see him kind of flying around, he's got kind of a cape.
What's your anticipation factor on next year's Superman?
Look, it's gonna suck. We knew Superman Returns was gonna suck.
Yeah.
The day Superman Returns is coming out, I was blasting the music, Superman shirt on, had the Christopher Reeve. I always wear my Christopher Reeve Foundation gear. I'm like, Superman, yeah, here we go. We walked out, man. This movie sucks. But then I went home. I'm like, I still like Superman. I don't know.
Yeah, heading towards Superman Returns, we knew it was gonna suck just because, like, when I read about it didn't sound great at all. No. And And Jason, like, I think 2 days before the movie, is like, Sean, help me out here. It's like,
I know, it's
and I was like, okay, look, he's gonna fly, he's gonna have his costume and all
I know.
that. He's got the
I needed help. I reached out.
Yeah.
I called the hotline. Listen, it's Superman.
I like when the bullet hits his eye. That was cool.
Yeah. But towards the end, at the very end, Superman is flying, and you can't even see him. It's all just shadow. And then Jason turns to me and says, you can't even see him. And I'm like,
can't see him. Stop it.
I'll say this last thing about Superman Returns.
And then talk about Transformers.
Right. Yeah. Just this last thing. There's that part where Lex Luthor breaks into the Fortress of Solitude and like messes around with things. So Superman flies in there at one point, and he discovers that like the crystals are in different places. And then Jason, like super loud, he was like, "Yeah, you dumbass! Someone broke in." And like,
wow.
Why'd you leave the damn? Where's that giant key that he has? It was like, why is the door open or whatever?
Anyway. Yeah.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a Josh Duhamel fan too, because I watched Las Vegas, the show he was in. So I was a big fan of his, and I thought he was cool in the movie too. So I was excited about that. And I love the part where he's sliding underneath at the end and he shoots and he's screaming. I love that part. That part always makes me.
The guy who's in that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So Sean, Transformers. Oh, well, we saw this together now, so I know your things on it. But leading up to it, the mouth was the first thing, right? Or
no, they were very guarded about what was going to happen in this movie. So to me, it's like I was like, listen, there's a lot of great lore. They could do anything. And my fanboy brain is like, they'll have a movie with the Quintessons. They'll have a movie with the Insecticons will be a threat. They'll have a movie like there's so many different things like Primus and all that, right?
You're giving them way too much credit.
Well, that's the problem, right? I didn't know how bad the pandering was going to be, right? And this is honestly people that did not grow up with the franchise made this thing and had no love for any of the characters. And I remember leading up to it, there's a mega hype machine for it. They had that video from Steven Spielberg. Spielberg at one point, how they got the rights was he thought he said, you know what, maybe I'll direct it. He knew that he had that clout. Maybe I'll direct it too. And they're like, oh shit, Spielberg. Okay. So then he made this video where he's doing this, and we always make fun of this now. And he's like, I always liked the Transformers. He's going on like this, and then at one point he says something like, I go to the toy aisle and I look around. I look around to see if anyone's there, and I pick it up as though he's embarrassed by buying a Transformer. So I was like, I don't like this statement, but anyway. And then this Michael Bay guy was doing it. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then heading into it, the internet was a thing still. And there were rumors and there's some designs, and the designs looked terrible. And I thought, oh, these are early designs, right? They're squiggly. You can't really make out the shapes of the characters. This is like, okay, whatever. And then we saw the movie. So leading up to J-Man had a Transformers Day where I brought over a bunch of the shows and like episodes, and then we all watched, like a bunch of our friends watched them to get ready for this. And I did the lore, right? Like lore episodes. And then we saw this, and we double built this with Die Hard 4. And at the end of it, I was stunned silent, and then J-Man turns to me and goes, Sean, man, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's like they should cancel this and make Transformers Begins or whatever.
It's like Transformers Begins.
Yeah. The problem to me with all of these movies, it's not that they break lore and all that stuff. It's just that they break their own lore. There's nothing here to latch onto or fall in love with. They have no personalities for any of the characters. They're wishy-washy on what the Transformers are. Is Cybertron destroyed or not? I don't even know. Like, it's sometimes they say it is and sometimes it's not. What's an Energon cube? In the first one, it's Vector Sigma, basically. It makes Transformers. In other ones, Energon is the fuel that you remember from the cartoons. All the Transformers are some sort of shaded belligerent. Optimus Prime is either childlike or a weathered warrior. I don't know. I can't get into these. They're so awful, and all of the stupidness too of like pissing and all that stuff all over these movies. It's an insult. That's the problem. I can't see it as nothing but an insult to a Transformers fan. But the problem is there's different Transformers fans now. For me that grew up with it, like I'm a day one Transformers fan from when I was 6 and it came out, and I don't care that it breaks the lore that I remember. It doesn't even make its own lore or even follow its own lore. And that's a huge problem for me, underpinning all of these, even the best ones. So I can say more, but we have to carry on.
Jeez. Okay, so but you're right, because even the He-Man movie,
yeah,
it's like you're like, okay, but it still follows a sense in that movie anyways. Like they don't talk about Adam or any of that stuff, but you're like, okay, no. He-Man, obviously, if you don't know anything, you're like, okay, He-Man's this freedom fighter guy. He's fighting against this tyrannical guy, Skeletor, who's trying to take over the powers. And you know what I mean? Like you can, like my wife didn't really, she watched a little bit of He-Man cartoon in India. They did have it. And she liked the Masters of the Universe movie. She's like, that was pretty cool. Like that was fun and whatever. And it's like, I think with this movie is that the characters are so obnoxious that you don't care about the humans. But then the Transformers don't have any personalities and they hinder Bumblebee. They're trying to make him the cute, relatable one, but he can't speak. And
that's
it's like
so stupid.
And it's like, look, they're trying to do it like an ET or Gizmo or something. Oh, it's like,
well, his voice box was damaged, right? That was the thing.
I know. So don't write that.
Yeah.
Like just say that it's not damaged, right? Like don't have that as a thing. But anyway, so I saw this movie with Sean and I walked out and I was like, wow, this was god awful. Firstly, I hated all the characters. And then Megatron beats the crap out of Optimus Prime and Optimus Prime's laying down. And then Shia LaBeouf takes that thing and goes under Megatron and shoves it, whatever. And then he defeats Megatron. I was like, Shia LaBeouf defeated Megatron. I was like, but Optimus Prime lost. Optimus Prime lost in his live action film debut. He lost. They got Peter Cullen back for him to lose. And there's things like that in certain movies. And I'm like this sometimes. Sometimes there's one thing and then I'm done. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Look, any bad movies, and we've talked about many bad movies. We've talked about many bad movies in our YouTube careers and website careers and all that. And the thing is, it's like, look, I can take a lot of stuff. Like, I can take bad movies. Like, I like Highlander too. Hey, Skeptic. Hey, so I like
movies ever, eh?
Hey, yeah. I like Highlander 2 and all that because it's just a cool, fun movie. Oh, it doesn't make sense. I know. Okay, it doesn't make sense. I agree with you. So what? I don't care. It's neat. It's a cool movie. It's fun. If there's something that doesn't break me, like Transformers, the first movie broke me like at the end. I was like, this is so terrible. I was like, well, end of the day, there's a fight. Even Man of Steel, end of the day, there's like a really cool fight with all these guys. You can watch a super fight. If you just want to see a super fight, you can watch a super fight. It's not Superman, but it's a super fight. And Superman doesn't lose. It's like Optimus Prime lost. I was like, you lost in your own movie. I'm like, this is like, who thought of this? Like Shia LaBeouf could have helped to say that, okay, the humans, so, and you could have had one of the Transformers. And Sean, you're right. It doesn't need to be like, you don't need to have Blaster be the exact character you saw or Jazz or any of the guys that we've watched now in these, in our
even just a character.
Like there could have been one guy who's like, I don't trust the humans. And then Shia LaBeouf proves to him, oh, these humans are pretty good after all, Prime. Maybe there's something, maybe there's something to be said about them. Or I don't know. I'm just making up. Like just have 5 Autobot archetype characters. Like,
right.
Optimus Prime is the super good guy, leader guy, whatever. And then Bumblebee, okay, he's the cute, fun-loving guy. Just do the Ninja Turtles. Then have Wheeljack is the brainy one. It's like, Prime, I calculate whatever, right? We can't make it in
Easy
time.
Company or something.
Yeah. No, it's like this is each guy can just be a random archetype. So at least you'd be like, I like Wheeljack because he's the smarty pants guy, and oh, I like the fun-loving Michelangelo. I mean Bumblebee, or I like Leonardo. I mean Optimus Prime. Like they're not even that. Like
it's to the point where they kept using the G1 imagery and what you remember of G1 for each ad campaign, except for The Last Night. But the Dinobots one, Age of Extinction, like the ads were all about them, and they turn up in the last like 10 minutes of the movie, but they don't do anything. Grimlock isn't really Grimlock and all that. Like all the fun-loving stuff you love about the Dinobots are completely missing. And at that point, you should have known that. You know?
No, we should have known that. So we skipped part 2 because that's one of the worst films of all time, and then we skipped part 3, which is going
sure
to.
We saw part 3 in the theater.
No, I don't think that we did. I don't know. We didn't. I don't. But 3 is like in the higher of the poop.
Are we ranking? Or are we just
on the ranking?
You don't like the the Wang joke or whatever the hell.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Deep Wang. Remember
the
that?
scrotum joke with the
so stupid.
I don't know. Then that part 4 came out. I was like, okay, well, they got rid of some of the dead weight. So Age of Extinction, like the Dinobots are here. So it brought us back. We came back for this. We're like, all right, let's go back. And then here's the problem. After 3 movies, they're like, guys, the Dinobots are in this one. And then you're like, oh man, it's going to be me, Grimlock, and all this. Like, no, there's no talking. Optimus Prime rides him like a horse. Let's go, Grimlock. Let's go. They're like, is that Grimlock? I'm pretty sure that we've watched all of the American cartoon and Japanese Headmasters. I don't remember Grimlock letting people he did let Wheelie ride him for whatever, but I don't think he'd let Optimus Prime ride him and whip him and say, go ride and control.
It's frustrating because it's so unnecessary. Just that you have the animation, just have him be a character. My God. What's the take? What's the fresh take that he's just a thing that's just like a Dinobot and that's it? It's like,
I bet they just thought it was too stupid for a
they probably did.
It's a movie about robots fucking taking over the world and shit. I don't know why it would be so complicated for fucking a T-Rex to talk. But
I mean, everyone else talks. What's the difference?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so so let's go down. We'll start. Okay, so Skeptic, we'll start with you at the bottom. What's your word? So the movies in question are the 5 Michael Bay films, Bumblebee and Rise of the Beasts. So there's 7 movies to talk about. What's your worst one? It better. I hope it's Last Night.
It's probably Last Night. It's debatable because I don't know. I mean,
what's your counter to Last Night, or what's one that's worse than that, or what's one that's somewhat worse?
Probably Rise of the Beast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean I like 4, but it's way too long. 4 just the battle is like a whole hour and a half, which is fine, but it's like episode 3, which I love episode 3, but it's the battle just lasts way too long where it gets boring, you know?
Yes. Though any of the prequels is way better than any of these movies.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Okay, so are you sticking with Last Night, or do you want to say Rise of the Beast? Because Rise of the Beast.
No, I'm gonna say Last Night. I fell asleep in the theater for that, so that says something.
Yeah. All right, John. What's your out of the 7? What's your weakest?
So this is one of those where each day it could change, but right now, at this moment in time, I gotta go with. Listen, I know Last Night sucks as a Transformer movie, but Age of Extinction I'm putting last because I remember less about that movie than I do the Last Night.
Right,
it's okay, so it's just a jumble, plot wise, forget about it, and it's just bombastic, it's chaotic, it's Michael Bay. I don't know, he took massive steroids, and it's. To this day, I've only seen it the one time. I went to the movies to go see it. I think I have it on digital. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But other than that, I like I said, I've been reading the synopsis for it as you guys were talking, and I'm still kind of confused at what was going on in that movie. And it's okay, here's the thing. Sean was talking about the lore. I mean, there's so much wonderful lore that goes with Transformers, but it's they're making up their own shit, and it's then I mean. Spoiler alert, Last Night's going to be number 4 because that is King Arthur and Excalibur, and they're putting that mythos into it. I'm why are you even so? But yeah, I got to go with
Age of Extinction.
Yeah, just because because it's just it's I don't know. It was like it was one of those movies that was made like during a writer's strike year or something. It's like what the hell they were doing with it. So I gotta and probably ranking these as like which ones, like the ones I remember the best are probably the ones I'm gonna rank higher. Just,
Right.
So,
Hot takes. What's going on, nerd man? Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
What's going on? And Shooter's here. The best Transformers, of course. We're not counting the animated movies.
Yeah, we're not counting that because it's
that's obvious.
Yeah.
And I can already tell you, Transformers 1 is better than any other ones. The fourth Bay movie is the worst. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna.
It's kind of in the middle of the pack.
That's my worst.
Yeah, I'm gonna push back a bit on this one, which is crazy. But okay, go ahead, Sean. What's your weakest one?
Oh, the worst one is Last Night. It was a toss up between that and Revenge of the Fallen, but Last Night. Last Night, I don't. Yeah, we talked about this. I don't know what the hell that's about. It's at a certain point, it just goes into its own stupid technobabble, and there's more of this anti-authority bullcrap where the one guy's like math, and then we knocked this thing into this thing, and then he's wrong, and then they cut to him being disappointed, like you're supposed to root for that, but it's like. What am I supposed? What's happening? Like
I don't even remember that.
There's still cognitive dissonance in this. It's like I don't. It's like, am I supposed to be like, yeah, that guy was proven wrong? Like, what's happening here?
Well, yeah, of course it was.
Yeah, I don't. The thing is, some of those characters could be cool, but it's just like the Combiner guy looks neat, I guess. But I don't know. I think this was a bridge too far for audiences. I think at that point, they had been taken so many times by imagery from G1, and they're like never more at this point. And it's Michael Bay being unashamedly Michael Bay. It's like Merlin's a drunk a-hole, Hot Rod is speaking with a French accent for no reason just to make fun of the French. I don't.
I know it's just nonsense.
Yeah, it's pitch. It's peak Bay. This really is peak Bay. People are like, oh, the Bayhem isn't as much. No, but this is peak Michael Bay obnoxiousness.
Yes,
so
big time.
It's Last Night for me.
Bay was awesome in the 90s. That's
like Last Night it is unwatchable. Every line of dialogue makes me want to poo. I basically had neck spasms, which is why it's like, I'm like, shit, my neck. I don't know how anyone can sit through that movie. I have tried, and the sound quality. I tried twice, 2 times. Mm-hmm. You know how they say, "Fool me once, fool me twice." I fooled myself the second time.
God.
You own these, man, right? You own them?
Of course, I own them all.
Yes,
of course, I own them.
Last Night was the only movie that I walked out of the theater. Well, the first time I ever walked out of the theater when I was, and
your mistake was walking in.
You walked out of
it. No, it's the first time I ever walked out and told my dad that the movie was shit, and my dad was like, "What?" My dad was confused. He was like, "What? I thought it was good." I was like, "All right."
No, it's unwatchable.
What's funny is I love my dad, but like he loves these Michael Bay movies, like these adaptations, but he thinks it's cheesy and like weird. He absolutely hates the He-Man movie. I've been like suggesting watching the live action He-Man movie with him, and he's like, no.
It's awesome. But yeah, no, this movie is unwatchable. The cringe dialogue between Jaeger and that woman. And then her mother and her friends are there, like, ooh, are they having sex upstairs? I'm like, is it like? And then we paid for this, like we went in good faith and bought a ticket and gave money, and then you sat down. You're like, you're insulting my face while I'm sitting. Like they're literally insulting you. They're looking at you, saying, "Ha, you paid for this, buddy. Here's what you're watching. Check this shit out." Michael Bay should be ashamed of himself for the lot. He should be completely and utterly ashamed.
I didn't like the fact that they just started like adding like lore about how the Transformers have been there for like they have been
years
or something.
Well, they've been there for 4 million years. Or what is it? 4? I forgot the number.
Like on Earth?
It was 4. Yeah, they've been on. It's 4 million years.
In the cartoon, it's millions of years.
Yeah, in the cartoon, it's like 4 million years or something. So in the cartoon, it's one, the King Arthur's one, right? So somebody said that. Somebody said, here's what happened. Somebody told Michael Bay. I know exactly what happened. Michael Bay was sitting there eating hamburgers and drinking beers and stuff, and watching.
So he was drunk, which made
he's drunk. And then someone's like, hey, babe, what's going on? Mikey, yeah. Whoa. And then he's like, hey, in the Transformers cartoon, my grandkid was watching it. It's terrible. Your movies are way better. But he was watching that old shitty cartoon, and there's like a King Arthur thing. He's like, really? Oh shit, I'm throwing that in the next movie. That's like that literally is exactly what happened. So that movie's unwatchable.
It makes it confusing because, I guess the Bumblebee movie retcons this shit, but like the fact that they say that Bumblebee was like in World War II and shit, like what? I don't know where. Like I thought he was just like,
yeah.
Is that the one where they say a Transformer helped like Harriet Tubman or something like that?
Yeah. So okay. So that movie's unwatchable. I'll just go with the next one. The next worst one is Revenge of the Fallen. That one is unwatchable times 5, and then part 5 is unwatchable times 10. Revenge of the Fallen is like one of the dumbest like pieces of celluloid. Like it's crazy. They need to preserve that movie and say like, look, class, someone thought this was somewhat good. Like, and it's like, Miss, yes, Timmy. It's like, did someone put money into? Yeah, people invested in this. They got their money back because they made a lot of money, but it was an experiment to see how stupid the audience was.
Well, the writers,
it's terrible.
Well, wasn't there like a writer's strike at the time though? Like,
I don't care. I don't care.
I'll get into that.
Sure. So Revenge of the Fallen is the next worst one. It could easily be the worst, but last night is 2.5 hours of pure cringe. That's the cringiest film maybe of all time for me. Best sound production in cinema, but most cringiest dialogue. And I don't even know. Would I say it's up there with like some of these really horseshit movies? Like, Acolyte's way worse than that. 42 minutes is Star Wars. We already talked about Star Wars. Acolyte is worse than, I guess Acolyte's worse than Transformers 5, but I don't know. It's very close. Okay, Skeptic, what was your next worst one? Age of Extinction? Or no, what did you?
It's probably, it's going to be Rise of the Beast.
Oh, no, Rise of the Beast. I'm sorry. Rise of the Beast was your next worst one.
I don't like that one.
It's just, I don't know. Like, the villain just, like, was so forgettable to me.
What? Just because he was little?
No, it's just, like, I just don't understand
Peter
his
Dinklage.
And, I mean, oh, yeah, he was Peter Dinklage, wasn't he?
That's what I was saying.
It's just, Jesus. No, but I think the villain was so forgettable. And the fact that they advertised it's just like the freaking the Dinobots where they advertised the Maximals or whatever, and then and they're barely there. Like, okay, like the Gorilla Man is there, but like freaking I don't know. I didn't watch Beast Wars, so I don't know. But the Cheetor and Rhinox or whatever are like not even talking. They don't even have dialogue.
Razor doesn't even transform.
Yeah,
it's like
weird.
She was the only figure I could get. I'm telling you, you can naysay on Rise of the Beast, but the toys were gone. I was going every morning, and I got Air Razor, and that's the only toy I could find. All the other ones were sold out immediately. The toys sell well.
They probably made more in that than the movie. To be honest.
Oh, they did. They're making it for the toys. They don't even.
How it always is with Transformers.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so John, what's your next worst one or whatever?
So I got to go with Revenge of the Fallen too. Is my second worst. And here's like you Septic mentioned that. Yeah, it was made the writer's strike. So here's basically what happened. They had 14 pages of treatment, and Michael Bay created all these bombastic action sequences around it. And then when the writer's strike ended, they were like, okay, now we got to make a story. And it's just a convoluted mess. And it's got Megan Fox in it, but not even she can save the horrific mess. I mean, you had Transformer balls hanging. I'm like, come on. I'm like, listen, I have a sense of humor, and I can get vulgar. Like, it's like, come on. It's like,
but it didn't even make sense. There's not two wrecking balls. It doesn't even exist on the body. Like what?
Yeah, and it's just, it's like, again, I mean, the character, like in terms of characters, like human characters. Why do you always do that when I'm talking? Then I start laughing.
No, talk. It's not a voicing. I won't interrupt you. Go.
No, I understand. No, but I read it and then I start.
Oh, okay.
And I lose my train of thought. Anyway, so what I was saying was the human characters in the first films were like more resonant than like because when they tried to reboot it with Mark Wahlberg, it was just a moot point at that.
Right.
So, but like I said, I like Josh Duhamel and Tyrese Gibson's characters. You know, they were kind of like I like the military. I'm a military guy in terms of action, so I love that aspect of it too. And but in terms of story, it's just like okay, now we have these set pieces. Now we just got to create something around it. What shall we do? And it's just you watch the movie to this day, and I think I've seen it like at least three times in the history that it's been out, and to this day, I'm just like, wow. I'm just like,
yeah. So was this the one with the Pretender? That was terrible.
Yeah. Pretender that they never go back to after.
Right, and then Headmaster.
It was like an afterthought. Yeah, it was like.
Yeah, and they had a headmaster. So Cog or whatever his name was supposed to be they say he's a headmaster, but he didn't turn into.
He's a headmaster of the grounds. Yeah,
right.
He's not,
and that was supposed to be like. Right. Are you guys a fan of the Battlefield? I don't know. I don't play video games. Skeptic.
Battlefield. Oh, the movie or
no, the games.
I talked about. Sorry, I literally just woke up around 4:00, which sounds ridiculous, but
yeah, tough life.
No, but Battlefield is all right. I mean, I thought he was talking about
Battlefield Earth. Oh, that movie's fantastic.
Well, I have that on DVD, but that's besides the point. My dad likes that film.
Movies. You like that movie?
No,
I like it because
being sarcastic.
No, I don't know. No? I think I do like it. I think it's funny. It's bad.
Battleship
Scientology commercial because it's
yeah. I tried to join Scientology after what? No, I didn't try to join.
It really is it's a Scientology message, or are you just joking?
No, it is Scientology. The guy it's based on L. Ron Hubbard.
Was in it, and the book that it's based off is L. Ron Hubbard's.
That's Mr. Scientology.
Yeah,
I'm
Scientology.
surprised Tom Cruise isn't in it.
Yeah, they got Travolta, so they swapped
they didn't need. Yeah, they had one big name at the time, so they didn't need the other guy.
It's like canon. It's either Charles Bronson or Chuck Norris. They just swap them.
They can't afford both of them in the same movie. So
yeah, you can't have both guys. That's insane. That'd break the movie. They'd be like,
there's too much optimism, too much bravado going on. We can't.
What to do? Like,
I see on the screen share there's like a little thing that like Alice's Dark Origins. Who the fuck cares about that character to even watch that video?
Like, no, it's stupid. All right, so Sean, what was your next worst?
No, it's Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah, of course.
At the time, this was the one where people were like, "Oh, the first one was okay, but they didn't like the second one." But they're both the same movie. They're both the same obnoxious bullshit movie, and
right.
it's like, oh, I didn't like the ageism and the misogyny, and I didn't like all the Michael Bay juvenile humor. In what, part one? Because it's the same thing. It's like a robot pisses on John Turturro in part one.
You didn't like the little robot puppet making Fox's leg?
All the humping and stuff. It's like, anyway, look. Part two is awful. What's frustrating and strange is that the Fallen is a very deep-cut character from the Dreamwave comics. And he's really cool. He's like, I think they kind of go into his origin in this movie, but like, he's basically, I think he's Simon Furman. I could be mistaken, but he's a disciple of Primus, and there are all these the first primes, and then he decides to cut away from the flock and pursue his own. Yeah, there he is. Mm-hmm. Pursue his own selfish pursuits and become the first Decepticon, basically. And that's kind of what's going on here. But it's so buried in all the stupidness and juvenile humor and everything, you barely see the Fallen. You don't really feel for any stakes in what he's doing because none of the heroes know who he is or care. It's so weird. So anyway, I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty bad movie and it's very, very jumbled. And I know this is what I hate when people use writer's strikes as an example. Well, there's a strike. There's always a strike with these movies. It's like, well, there's a strike at the time, and that's why the movie came out the way. What? I don't understand when there's a writer's strike. all of a sudden everyone forgets what a 3-act structure is and what a protagonist is. Like, what are you talking about? Are you human? Like, did you land here 2 weeks ago? What are you saying? Like, anyway.
Yeah, now I don't understand how characters need to be pumped up. It's
my god, all of a sudden I don't understand like stories that I've been watching and reading all my life. I don't know how to make one without like a sanctioned writer. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And what about the movies that were done when there wasn't a writer's strike? Those are garbage too. What's your excuse on that movie?
Yeah, what the hell?
What's your
using
excuse
a
on
strike as your excuse? Anyways, I don't like this movie. I don't like also that Jetfire is this just one geriatric joke. It's like he's just an old timer that farts like parachutes and stuff. It's like what
kind of like
more
them.
Stupidness. Anyway,
Jetfire is like one of the coolest Transformers of all time. It's basically
and here he is.
And this is what we got. So this is the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and if we go.
They use this joke again.
This is the toy.
Rise of the Beast.
It's like,
yeah,
but he's old.
Yeah, but he became gray instead of black.
But they're all old. You get that they're all millions of years old.
Yeah, they're all millions of years old. Yeah, they're all.
Why
millions
haven't
of
they
years
all
old.
aged like this guy has?
Yeah.
Okay, let's check the poll. This is for Transformers 1. We have 15 people who have voted. 40% say hell yes, they're excited to see Transformers 1. 7% say I'll check it out and see. 20% say they're just going to wait for streaming, and 33% say they pass. It looks like kids junk. So there you go. Okay, my third worst. I'll start. My third worst is part 1. Because it's the same as Revenge of the Fallen, except Optimus Prime loses. Yeah. So it theoretically should be worse. Like, look, if Optimus Prime loses, like when I saw this movie, the next day I went to work and there was this Transformers fan there, right? And I can't remember the guy's name. And he's like, "What'd you think of the movie?" He's like, "I loved it." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "You loved it?" I was like, "Wow." And he's like, "Did you?" I was like, "No, I hated it." And he's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, I was like, "You love it?" I was like, "Well, what did you love?" And he's like, "I loved every single second." And then I said, when someone says that, that's like they didn't have this term, but that's like a trigger. I'm like, "Oh, that you're going down, buddy." I said, did you like the second where Optimus Prime lost like a stupid little bitch, and then Shia LaBeouf defeated Megatron, so Optimus Prime is a loser in his own movie? Was that one of the seconds that you enjoyed a lot of? Was that something that you loved? Remember as a kid, and you had your little Transformer toy, and you played with it, and you had Optimus Prime, and then he was fighting Megatron, or if you didn't have Megatron, you had another guy, Soundwave, and you're fighting. And then while you were playing as a kid, Soundwave kicked the shit out of the Megatron, of the Optimus Prime toy. And then you took one of your sister's Barbie dolls, came in, and then that Barbie doll beat up Soundwave and then won. Is that how you played with your Transformer? Like, and he's like, well, whatever. Yeah, that was kind of weird, but I still liked it. Okay, so but Optimus Prime lost in his movie. So what do you mean you still liked it? So what if Optimus Prime had done? So where do you not like it? So Optimus Prime gets beat up and he's down. Then Megatron comes and stomps his crotch 15 times. And would that be enough for you to say, well, yeah, I'm kind of done? Okay. Then he takes a dump on Optimus Prime's face, right? Like, I don't know, like, at what point is it bad? Like, that's what I would like to know. At what point is it now bad? Well, I still kind of liked it. So you want Optimus Prime to lose in his own movie, like an
idiot? Did he tell you why? Was he like? Did he give you examples?
No, because nobody can give me one. Nobody can.
He did die in the good movie, though.
Right? It's like Optimus Prime.
Like
Shia LaBeouf defeats Megatron. I think Sean and I were the only two people who saw that in the theater. I was like, wait a minute, what the hell happened there? I was completely stunned. I was like, okay, I know I'm being funny now, but I actually was pretty stunned. I was like, wait, what happened? Yeah. I was like, did Shia LaBeouf just defeat him? Like, oh dear, like, why is this happening? And I thought, oh my God. And then he's holding up Jazz, who's broken in half. He's in half. And he held him up. And he's like, oh, we lost our friend. So that means, I won't say anyone on this panel, but let's say, like, one of
Dave C.
Hey, Dave C. one of our friends passes away and his DK is like cut in half by like a saw, and I hold up his corpse and say, "We miss our friend," and I was like,
It's kind of
what? I can't believe it. I'm like, what is happening in this movie? This is terrible. Like, I thought it was surreal. Like, I was like, wait, did Optimus Prime just lose in this movie? And then Shia LaBeouf wins? I guess it's better than his parents winning. But anyways, like, the only reason those other two movies are worse than this is because they're longer and have even more obnoxious stuff in it. This movie, if that didn't happen at the end, if Optimus Prime defeated Megatron, you know, and I don't even know what the parameters of the defeat were. If he defeated him somehow or won, and then Megatron takes off, and then they say, "Look, our friend died," and they have a little memorial for him or something, and then it ended, I would have said, "Yeah, I don't like this movie, but whatever. It had some neat action, I guess. I don't know. That would have been my review." But they like Optimus Prime lost. Like I don't understand. He lost. So am I supposed to cheer at the end? Yeah, that was awesome, Optimus Prime. You lost. Yeah, that was awesome. Like it's like that. What was the that part 2 of Last Jedi? Yeah, Han Solo's dead like an idiot. Yeah, that was awesome. Wow, I kind of liked it. It was pretty good. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm sorry, that last fall. That's the I'm sorry, Force Awakens. Force Awakens. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, he died like a bitch on that thing. Yeah, that was awesome. Wow, I loved it. You're like, I don't understand.
And hugs Ray and like totally
right.
Chewbacca. It's like Chewbacca like is probably like really sad right now.
Yeah.
Well, he's thinking my life debt is paid. Hey, so Chewbacca, when Han Solo fell down, Chewbacca came on and says, "Life debt paid, buddy." Whoosh! Now I'm on my own now.
You can think of it that way.
He's like, I'm free of this life. Okay, so
he shoots him. He shoots Kylo Ren, and it grazes his side. Even though we saw that bowcaster blow the crap out of things in a wide radius. But anyway.
But Sean, nobody.
He's a Force user. He's strong.
There's zero consistency. Here's something. I'll give this Michael Bay. I'll give a Michael Bay point. 1 point, Michael Bay. He understands how devastating weapons are. Star Wars, the new one, they don't understand any weaponry. It's like, okay, that bowcaster fucking annihilates people. Like, what are you doing?
He should have fucking fallen down the little shaft just like his father.
He'd be in pieces. If you took a lightsaber to the gut like that Reva woman,
I mean,
your entire okay.
Oh yeah, no, it's
what's his name? Qui-Gon Jinn. Remember in episode 1, they shut the doors on him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh, you shut the doors?" Oh, okay. You're like, "Wait, just shut the light." And then they showed from the other side, and the lightsaber's coming through, cutting the. Then those two Chinese guys, they're like, "Oh, put the shield door, put shield door," and then those doors come on, and then they're like, "Oh, he can't cut through that." And he's like still cutting. I was like, whoa, shit. I was like, this is badass. It's like, okay, this is a great. And then it's like Reva goes like, oh, she's okay. It was on the side. You would be melted to nothing. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same with fucking what's her face in Ahsoka. I can't believe that happened twice.
Sure. Okay. Skeptic, what's your third worst?
Oh, third worst? Probably 4.
So that's Age of Extinction?
Yeah, Age of Extinction. Okay. It's just too long. I get bored easily from it, like after like maybe 2 hours. I don't know.
So you don't like 7-hour movies that have no story? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I mean, there's some experimental movies that are literally like 7 hours, I think, but like I haven't watched those. I mean, I like. Okay, you're gonna kill me for this, but I can watch through 4 hours of the Zack Snyder cut, but I can't watch this movie for like 2 hours and 40 minutes or whatever.
So which one was this? Age of Extinction, you said?
Yeah.
Ooh, we got to do Age of Extinction versus Justice League. I think Justice League.
Oh my god.
I think Justice League would have to be better than Age of Extinction.
I think so.
It has to be, because Wonder Woman is still in it, even though she murders people in cold blood. She just goes and murders a bunch of people.
Never get over that. You always mention that every time.
Well, it's only because she murdered people in front of school children.
Well, yeah.
Like, did anyone think that was weird? was just like, did she just
You know-
murder these? She splattered their guts on the walls in front of little kids, and the little kids are like, I want to be just like you. What, you want to be a murderer? I kept so stunned. I'm very protective of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
If I smell a hint of weirdness, it's a deal breaker. I can take a bad movie like Wonder Woman 84, but I love it because Diana is intact and she looks cool. She uses the lasso. She talks nice to people. She does a hero speech. She's good. As long as Wonder Woman herself is pure and good, I'm okay. But if she does weird stuff, like the first movie is awesome, the second one is awesome. Her in Justice League, the shitty Justice League movie, she's still good in the shitty Justice League movie. And she would have been fine in the Zack Snyder 4-hour cut if that scene wasn't her killing them. Other than that, I would have been fine. But unfortunately, that was a deal breaker for me, man. I just couldn't.
Would you have actually been happy if she just quickly duct taped them to the wall?
Well, no. In Joss Whedon's version, he removed the splatter. So she just knocked them against the walls.
That's true, yeah.
That's fine. Listen, they're terrorists. Knock them against the wall.
I think
Knock them
Zack
out.
Snyder was just having an edgy moment there.
Yeah, he's stupid.
So you're giving
Titans
points to the Josh Whedon version. That's
Yeah.
I don't hear that a lot.
Okay, I'll answer Joe Dog's question. Joe Dog, I'm sorry, man. I love X-Men. Like my whole arm is Cyclops. I love X-Men. I've read like maybe 3 issues of Teen Titans, man. I'm sorry. I gotta go X-Men.
X-Men for me too.
But I love Dick Grayson Robin. He's like top 5 characters of all time. So he's my 4th favorite character of all time. Okay, so wait, I did third. Oh no, I didn't do third. Oh, I did do third, part 1. Okay, Skeptic. Okay, so John, what was your third worst?
So like I said, like Age of Extinction last night could kind of flip flop them on every given Sunday, but like right now it's last night, and here's why. Okay, so like I for weird reasons, I know, like hate me or love me, whatever. But like what Anthony Hopkins is in the movie. Now obviously they give him a paycheck, but it's like you're watching this Transformers movie and you're like Anthony Hopkins is acting the shit out of this. It's like, well, how is this going on right now? It's like it's Anthony, and then he's making joke. You got the robot up on the balcony with the organ. And it's just like, what the frick is going on right now?
God,
and then ending, okay, like, and Sean kind of mentioned it before. Like, there's a platform, there's commandos, there's robots, there's just it's awesome in the sense that it's like I said, Michael Bay at this point is like, you know what? I'm Michael fucking Bay, and I can do whatever I want. So you know what? I'm just gonna throw all this in there with Anthony Hopkins and Mark Wahlberg, and just like see what comes out of it.
He flew too close to the sun because he lost his fucking franchise after that.
Yeah, and then like the King Arthur. Now we're relating him to King Arthur lore, and it's just in the sense like it's so bad it's good kind of.
Oh God. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just getting reminded. I saw the Galvatron fucking toy. I hate what they did to Galvatron in that movie.
But yeah, so that's mine.
Okay.
That's my third one.
Oh, Betty, we got Mark from Legion of Comics here. Let's bring him in.
Oh,
Booyah.
hey.
What's going on, fellas? Thank you for having me. Sorry.
I'm super excited to have you on here. You missed my epic rant on how garbage part 1 was.
You need to catch up and shit on the Transformers.
But we'll get no. Let's do. Okay, so Sean, do your third, and then we'll get Legion to do his bottom 3.
Okay. Okay. So my list so far matches yours, Jay, man.
Yeah.
My
so even part 1?
It's part 1 for I guess number 5.
Wow, we did not talk. I swear we did not discuss this on our own. That is so weird.
Can you recap your 7, 6, and 5 real
Yep,
quick?
I'll recap. When Sean is done, we'll all do a recap before we
y'all
go
are
next.
the same.
Yeah, so it's Last Night for 7. Revenge
Yeah,
of
it's
the Fallen
unwatchable.
Pardon? 6 is Revenge of the Fallen. 5
Terrible.
is Transformers.
Part 1.
I think Transformers is a bit more coherent than Revenge of the Fallen, but to me, I don't like. I said this about all the Transformers movies. I don't like the fact that the Transformers don't have any personalities. Optimus Prime is supposed to be this weathered soldier, and yet he acts childlike when they need him to act childlike and step on things and stuff like that. The whole Shia LaBeouf saving Optimus Prime at the end is weird. Because whose movie is this, right? And I guess the answer really is Shia LaBeouf's movie.
Correct. Yes,
it is.
I never liked the designs. I think they're messiest in this one, and then they gradually improve over the course of the other movies. And the whole I said this at the beginning of the stream. I'm okay with them breaking the lore of what I know, but breaking their own lore, like I don't even understand if Cybertron's destroyed or not, and I don't know if because they go back and forth with it in the movies, and I don't know. I know what Energon is eventually in the movies, and I know what it is anyways. They're fuel that they convert everything to Energon, and in this thing they're going after the Energon cube, and it's basically Vector Sigma, and it's like, so what is it in your own lore? So I don't know. I don't like one. I never did, and it's got all the obnoxious bullshit like, Bumblebee pisses on John Turturro and all that. All this unnecessary.
I remember, look, when I was in the theater, I asked my dad, "Is he peeing on him?" And my dad said, "No, he's not."
He's
like, I was
peeing on
confused.
He's lubricated him.
Yeah, no, he was totally pissing on him.
All right.
Yeah, and the whole business. I mean, the whole business of making Bumblebee not be able to speak because it's supposed to be more relatable somehow is ridiculous.
I hate that.
And it starts with this movie.
I didn't mind it in the first movie, but then they just like have like a one-liner of like,
they
sequel.
never made it work.
They fix it at the end of the movie though, and then they just decide not to have it in the sequel. It's so bullshit.
Yeah, he does speak, but anyway, yeah. So anyway, my number what 5 is number 1. So.
Number 1, yeah. So that's the same thing, yeah. So same, and then so yeah, that was the same thing. 5 is just it's too long and it's just messy and it's there's so many cringe parts. Like they're running around. It's like, oh, are they having sex upstairs? I'm like, is this effing happening in this fucking movie right now? Like, what is going on? It's so stupid. It's honestly, like it insults your intelligence.
I don't remember that part of the movie. I probably
it was like a good 10 minutes of screen time. Go back to the fighting was good. The last
when the parents first meet Michaela.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
I thought you were talking about 5. No, I'm talking about that.
The insufferable mom was hearing him banging around, thought he was playing with himself, and
and
they're proud of him.
No, not that. No, I was talking about in part 5 in last night where Cade is with that woman or whatever.
I don't know.
Anyways, it's terrible. The fight, there's a cool fight at the end of part 5, but it takes about 4 hours to get to that fight, something like that. Revenge of the Fallen is just obviously that's terrible. And part 1, Megatron, like Shia LaBeouf defeats Megatron, so Optimus Prime loses like an idiot in his own movie. He could have had them team up. Like, why couldn't they have? Maybe he did something, and then Shia LaBeouf had to do like something that only a little guy can get in and do, and that would have been kind of neat. Or maybe something like that. Like, I just don't like seeing Optimus Prime being beat up or whatever.
I don't have necessarily a problem with that in the first movie, honestly.
Well, you should.
I don't know. I mean, like, it really shows Megatron's not to fuck around with, but then he's
sure. It's like when you're a kid, you played with your toys, and Barbie saved the day, right?
It took 3 movies to see Optimus Prime finally go apeshit on Megatron. I thought that was great.
Yeah, but I think
it was just awesome immediately. But anyway.
I don't think he would have just straight up killed him.
That's our bottom 3. So it was 7th was last night, then Revenge of the Fallen, then part 1. So Mark, you got to catch up to where we're at.
I switched those.
Yeah, do y'all want to hit me with?
Oh yeah. John, what was your order?
So I did Age of Extinction, and these are for dumb reasons. Like Age of Extinction, just because it's a jumbled mess, and I can't really remember that much of it.
I can fill you in when we get there.
Revenge of the Fallen was the next one, and let me just say about Revenge of the Fallen: you go from a scene where Shia LaBeouf's making out with a girl in the dorm room, until 5 minutes later, Optimus Prime dies. It's such a total shift. It's like what the
really
emotional roller coaster.
And then it's like, and then last night, and I put last night instead of Age of Extinction just because like Anthony Hopkins is acting the shit out of it. It's just like you're watching a Transformers movie, you're like Anthony Hopkins is in this movie, and he's wonderful.
Yes.
And it has commandos and robots and all kinds of stuff at the end. And it's just, I have no idea what I'm looking at, but it's fabulous. That's why I didn't pick that as my last movie.
All right. Okay.
And your name's John?
My name is John. Yes, sir.
Good to meet you. I'm Mark. Good to meet you.
I met you. I was on the last. What other J-Man?
Okay.
I don't know. Are you Star Wars? And whatever.
I can't even remember. Damn, I'm old. But anyway. But yeah, I did meet you on a previous stream. Yes.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. So wait, was that what? So it was your worst one was Age of Extinction,
Revenge of the Fallen, last night. So I just flipped
last night,
your guys'
I see. Yeah. Okay.
For stupid reasons, like I so.
Skeptic incorrectly put Rise of the Beasts in the bottom, I think. But okay.
It sucks. I'm sorry.
Wow, it's just like he's not
Can we
sugarcoating.
see our
It's,
lists? Yeah.
I just like what they did to fucking what's his face? I don't even know anymore. I
Okay,
forgot
so
the
hold on.
name
What's
of
your
the
just
guy.
okay? Tell us your let's go. Wrap it up.
Wrap up
7 is
what?
what for you?
Oh, 7. Fuck, I forgot there was
Last
7
night.
movies. Last night for sure, and then
And Rise of the
number-
Beast,
Rise of the Beast is 6. Yeah. No.
and then 5 was
Oh, fuck. What was that? 4.
Age of Extinction.
Yeah, Age of Extinction.
All
It's
right.
just too
So
long.
okay. So
But
Mark, you got to
it's
catch
okay.
up. What's your weakest one?
All right, just real quick, just a couple qualifiers.
Sure.
I'm not a Gen 1 cartoon guy. I grew up and Beast Wars was on TV. I was more than aware of Transformers. The toys are fun. I was a diehard comic guy now than I was when I was a kid. Superheroes are my first love. So the toys, fine, whatever. But I was always a huge Michael Bay fan since I was a kid with The Rock and Bad Boys 2. And when he was taking on Transformers, this is really my true intro into being a Transformers fan. So this
Yeah.
is where my passion for the property lies. And I will not besmirch anybody else who has that Gen 1 love, because if you switch over to comics, I'll sound like you guys. I will argue tooth and nail with somebody who doesn't understand what they should be versus what we're getting. But that's just where I'm
Right.
coming from. So I'm a totally different place coming from me. So number 7 for me is Revenge of the Fallen. I wanted something more serious, and they went a little bit more lighthearted. All the Michael Bay tropes went a little heavier. The standard sequel stuff, and that kind of did it for me with the truck nuts under Devastator. And
Yeah, that's
little
stupid.
things like with how, like, as this being my intro, how drastic it was having the human being that was the infiltrator. I'm like, is this fucking Transformers? But there's so much about it I like. The woods fight scene is amazing. Like, Shia LaBeouf gives one fucking hell of a performance in that movie. Like the ending in Egypt and like the whole thing with finding like the primes entombed in Jordan. So much lore is in these movies. It's fun for someone like me who's just like, I'm here for
It
the
was
adventure.
cool.
I'm here for the action. I guess I'm the only person on the planet besides my son who's watched all these 1,000 times with me who can tell what the fuck they're looking at when they're watching them fight. I've never had a problem. And I've watched these
neither.
movies inebriated in the past. Like I've never
I can tell who's
I
who
don't
because I
understand
know the
that.
yeah, I,
character.
mean, I can tell
but-
what. Yeah, I mean, it's,
I never had a problem with that. I don't get why people always say that. I get that
Oh,
the designs are
the
similar,
reason is
but-
because it looks like garbage. They look like 2 piles of junk, but I happen to be
I don't
able
know.
to
I
distinguish the 2 piles of junk.
Look,
and
I
figure out which
own
pile
the
of junk is what.
I can't agree with that. I owned the toys as a kid, so it was easy for me to differentiate. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
And like I love the designs. I thought it was such a great way, like because like you're old school comic guys too. So with the think pre MCU when we're taking it from the page to the screen, it gets a screen upgrade or sometimes a downgrade, but it gets a screen treatment. I thought the screen treatment was great. The first Transformer, well, I'll get to that later. But
the
Revenge of the
soundtrack.
Fallen's
Okay,
number 7.
falling.
period.
Yeah,
So number 6, and this is where it's going to get weird, and you guys are going to start hating me. First off, I love all these movies. There's not one that I dislike.
I'm entertained by all of them. Yeah.
Number
absolutely.
6 is Bumblebee.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Hey, oh, there.
But again, there's not a single one of these on this list outside of Revenge of the Fallen that would be under a 7 out of 10 for my preference. Not if I was being critical of it, but just for my enjoyment kind of thing. So
Right.
Bumblebee is number 6 because I just thought there's so much to love about it, but it was just slow. It was the slowest one out of all of them. That pacing in the space system, it gets a 0.5.
Yeah,
So it gets a,
yes.
but god damn, the designs were so cool, weren't they? And that it felt like a legitimate 80s movie. They did so
Yeah.
good with that. Number 5 for me is also the first one. The ending, I can recall the first time I saw it in theaters opening night. The ending left me scratching my head with the Shia LaBeouf move that shouldn't have killed Megatron because we're going to kill Optimus, and what was a little shard left of the spark. Everything else, fucking loved it. The special effects when Blackout landed in the intro, the sound, the first time you hear the goddamn you just hear the blades just lock. They're spinning, then they just lock in place. Cut back, the motherfucker stands up.
Oh yeah, Blackout's so
Energy
cool.
protection, tanks flying everywhere, Ironhide crawling out of the pool. Just everything about that movie was amazing. The action sequences, that Bad Boy 2 special effects, but with Ironhide flipping and twisting and shooting rockets and dodging them. I love the story with his grandfather going to Antarctica and diving into, again, so much lore in all of these. I'm a lore hound. And they're
really good at it too.
You have to become a wiki and explore the film with them to get every bit of it, and I appreciate that.
Okay.
All right, I'm caught up. Sorry.
All right, you're caught up. Okay.
For you at all.
So I'll say one of the gripes about things and Sean said this earlier too, and I kind of agree with him. I'm not super concerned with what's lore and what's not because Transformers is a weird property. A lot of people argue on where G1 ends. I would say Headmasters is included in that. We just reviewed all of those. We're going to do Super God Master Force. Sean is including Super God Master Force because the toys came out in the G1 era. I have to see Super God Master Force, the cartoon, to see if I count it. The Marvel Comics, the G1 cartoon, like the original cartoon and Headmasters, are so different from each other. It's like to the point where there's Nebulons, who are an entire race of people who make up the Headmasters and the Target Masters, and they're not in it in the Japanese ones at all, but the toy's the same. You're like, okay, this is weird. And then the Marvel Comics is even more different. You're like, oh, okay. So it's all over the place. So there's no set lore. It's so Transformers, I'm only caring about, do I care about the characters in this movie? That's my point.
You do know the Alliance timeline, right? Where they actually address that from a meta perspective, all the different TV shows, all the different reboots.
Oh, do they address it?
We do have to have like an agreed upon canon, and people can work outside of the canon for like rescue bots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you make it easy, you have your canon, then you have your Elseworlds. You know what I mean?
There's like a multiverse thing.
Well, no, they just have an agreed upon canon that if we're going to run on the canon, this is the canon line, and that's what Transformers 1 is. It's like the origin from that agreed upon canon that they've went back. This is what the suits did. It was very smart.
Right. So they've kind of cherry picked bits and kind of got you to. I'm looking forward to Transformers 1.
But it's kind of a just moving forward thing. You know what I mean? They're not
right.
Yeah. I'm good with headcanon. Like I can reconcile all that stuff in my own head. Like
So let me tell you one of the gripes. You're sitting there with Ironhide. So Ironhide's in this movie. And now the problem is, this is something that people have not said, and I'll say it. You're making a live action movie, so you can't just pick any vehicles you want. So one of the issues is Bay is stuck with either military style vehicles for the villains, and I think he had General Motors. So he had General Motors. So you can't do every guy exact because you're stuck with who you're stuck with. But like Ironhide is the black whatever. Can't he just be red? Like he's red in the cartoon. Like, does it fucking matter? Just make it red. Like,
but he wasn't red in the other. Like by the time the first movie came out, they already did Robots in Disguise, the first one, and I think the Unicron trilogy, and he was black in one of those iterations.
Yeah,
I didn't really care that much about that.
But you can't just like I'm saying, you can't distinguish them. Like, give us at least like if you give us the color schemes, then you could pinpoint them easier. Like, oh, that's Ironhide. Right. Okay.
But they gave us a color scheme. They didn't necessarily follow spot on. Bumblebee was yellow, Ironhide was black, Jazz was silver, Optimus was big blue mofo.
And Ratchet was like green or something. Yeah. Like Ratchet was green or something.
Ratchet was yellow in the first two. Then they hazmatted him after that.
Mm-hmm. So you remember how Brawl was called Devastator?
Yes.
In the movie.
Yes, I remember that. Unicron was black. I don't know what he was.
Oh yeah, the first movie you had the tank that they called Devastator.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I remember.
I had a big ass toy of Brawl. I love that guy.
Yeah.
All right, so fourth now. So now for me, we're into the realm of I can tolerate some of these. My next one is Age of Extinction. I'll tell you why.
Oh my god!
Is it the same as you, Sean?
It's the same thing.
Well, I swear to God, we did not. The two G1 guys. Okay, no. The thing about this one is that Optimus Prime, when he was that dirty truck, was kind of neat. I prefer Mark Wahlberg to Shia LaBeouf. At least in these movies, because I felt like he's a mechanic. He's kind of a hands-on guy. I felt like he can work with this story, and then it wasn't out of the realm of reason that he could like kind of fight along and do stuff with them. So that's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Also, that bounty hunter guy that shows up with his gun as the head. I can't remember his name. I just forgot his name. I forgot his name. That guy, that is, I like that his head was like a gun and he just destroyed people, and he's walking down the streets, and I just got this vibe of like Death Wish 3 or something like where it's like this thing's walking down the streets and it's just like blowing the shit out of whatever it wants to blow the shit out of. I like the spaceship. This was the first movie where this was the second movie in order of timeline. And when I saw it, where I thought, hey, they're trying to make them somewhat characters and they're more distinct. Like I could tell 3 had this as well, but 4 really had it. I was like, okay, I know who everyone is now. I get the characters. They're together doing stuff. They go on little missions. So I was like, okay, they're doing, and then they had the Dinobots, which they ruined, of course, but at least I recognize who they were. I'm like, yep, that's Grimlock. Okay, I see who that is. So I don't hate this one. It is long. It is long. I agree. Someone said it was too long. They're all too long.
Longer.
Yeah, but I don't. We're in the realm of I don't hate this movie. We saw part 4. Sean had to take a. Did you take the bathroom break? You helped.
No,
right?
I stuck with it, but I was suffering, man.
You were suffering.
Where it looks like the movie's done, and then they go to China, and I'm like, okay, well, this will be 10 minutes, and that's another like 40
half
minutes.
an hour or something like that.
And the Dinobots weren't even around. I was like, I thought the whole marketing campaign was these Dinobots. And I was like, where the hell are they? And then
yeah, no, but I knew that. But by this time, we knew that they're liars, right? So it's like just. So I don't know what I like the brown Optimus Prime, the dirty truck version. He kind of looked like a little bit of the G1, more G1 ish. Yeah, I don't know this one.
I
could tell.
Optimus
I know you guys didn't
Prime
like this
movie.
one. Okay, so Sean, you can go because yours is the same, right?
It's Age of Extinction. Like the thing is, it's not a good movie, but I don't know. I love the go for broke quality of it. It's just like they chock a block it with as many ideas as they can throw at it just to get them into a movie. And I after a while, I don't know if this movie broke me, but I kind of like that.
It wore me down. I'm like, all right, fine, this is okay.
I even like
the
the Transformium bull crap. It's like well, first of all, they call it that, which is weird. And the Unobtainium or whatever. No, that's from
Avatar,
Avatar, right?
Avatar.
But anyway, yeah. But yeah, the Transformium thing where they make
nice.
awesome.
Uh-huh.
That was awesome.
Where the Transformers are now just turning into cubes and stuff, and I didn't think it was sacrilege because I knew they're not going to stick with it because they never stick with anything in these movies.
Right.
I just thought that was kind of fun too, and Galvatron's back for no reason, and and I like when they go into that menagerie and stuff. It reminded me a lot of Brainiac ships, like where they go in and there's like all sorts of different like weird animals and stuff like that.
There was something interesting about Galvatron.
Lockout was amazing.
Yes, that's the guy I'm talking about. That's the guy I was talking about. Yeah, he was awesome. Yeah. He's the best of all of those guys.
There seems to be a sort of they're trying to tell a story here, but yeah, no, I liked all that stuff. I mean, I was irked by the way they treated the Dinobots. I mean, I would like the same with all these other Transformers. I wanted more character. I mean, everyone loves.
Can I ask you a question?
Because
I don't have like. Can I ask you a question? Because I've watched a good bit of like the first season of the cartoon. I've read through the Marvel comics well past the Dinobots. What did they not do in this movie with them that you think they should have done? Like where did they let the Dinobots down?
Well, Grimlock barely speaks, and he's not even the Grimlock that we know, right? That stubborn, lovable, stubborn guy that wants to do his own thing, but realizes that Optimus Prime is right in the end.
In the cartoon, he's a bumbling idiot who just messes up everything he touches. And
there's two Grimlocks, though, to me. I mean, in season 3, he's a bumbling idiot.
Yeah.
In the first couple
seasons, in the cartoon, he was like that in the beginning. I haven't seen past that, but in the comics, they were honorable but not very formidable. They could have been, you know what I mean? So I thought it was a huge upgrade to make them these legendary beasts that were just. This time, like when they showed up, dude, it was wreck shit city.
Yeah,
like, it was on like. I feel like they actually like gave them like this is the love y'all haven't had before.
Well, I just think that they're just sort of there. I don't like. I know that
I don't remember him doing anything cool,
but I don't know
when they rolled in.
I feel like they're really meager in this movie. I think they turn up in 5 as well, right?
Yeah, they're a big part of 5.
Yeah.
You remember when Hound was sitting there keeping Cade and Stanley Tucci's character alive, and they hid in that building, and Stanley Tucci stands up and goes, "It's made of glass. It's all glass." And Hound is literally fighting for his life by himself against the entire wave of the Transformers that is coming in. He's running out of ammo. He's even using his cigar, and they're about to execute him. He goes, "This is it, Cade." And then the Dinobots roll in with Optimus riding on their back, flaming them, chewing them to pieces, beating the shit out of them. The whole chase scene that Bumblebee does on the back of one of them against the other pterodactyl-looking thing, like, it was amazing. Dude, like get you on your feet. Like it was one of those Michael Bay scenes. Like I don't know, man. I thought it was
I
something.
think I kind of remember that.
Yeah, I'm with Skeptic. I think I kind of remember that.
I have zero memory of that.
It's funny because I was gonna say
Oh
3 and 4 to me are the ones I do go back to a lot. Because to me it's just I just like the crazy mayhem of them, and we'll get to 3. 3 has a lot of stuff from the G1 cartoon in it that I like.
3.
But yeah, no, 4 just I like all the ideas of it, and I go back to it all the time. But it's super long too. And that I never watch it all the way through. I save it till the next day sometimes. So yeah, but it's more interesting to me than Last Night, Revenge of the Fallen, and Transformers. So it's number 4 for me. All
right, John, number 4.
My number 4 would probably be Bumblebee. And it's like I like the movie. I mean, I kind of like, and here's why. I mean, it's a more simplistic Transformers movie. Like for one, Michael Bay didn't do, and I kind of liked how it was more low key. I kind of like how it was a little bit simpler than the other movies. I liked Haley Steinfeld and Bumblebee's relationship. So I thought that was kind of neat. How they interacted and everything. John Cena's John Cena. What are you gonna do about that?
Yeah, he was good in the movie.
I mean, yeah,
I think he was a good actor in it.
Yeah, he chews it up, and so like I said, I mean, I don't mind him at all. But like I said, J-Man, I'm like you. Like these 4 that I'm mentioning now are like the ones I've seen the most. I've seen like maybe twice, maybe 3 times some of them. And I kind of liked how it wasn't like. I liked how when I was here's a good reason. I liked how when I went to see Bumblebee, I didn't have a headache when I left the theater. I was like, oh, I mean, you had some good set pieces, you had some good action, but it wasn't just like it wasn't mind numbing to the sense where you're just like I'm gonna fall over in my chair right now type of thing. So I mean, it was simple. It was it was a little bit more heartfelt. More story to go along with the Transformers, and I kind of liked how I thought they were actually going to do that with each, like Bumblebee got a movie, then I thought they were going to do Optimus Prime was going to get a movie type of thing, but
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, so I thought it's kind of like going to be one of those deals.
It's the whole solo thing, though. I don't think it did well. I don't think it did maybe I'm wrong, but
no, it made like 450 million or something like that, but it just didn't. It just they wanted it to make more, I think. But
that's the problem. These days, it has to make $2 billion for it to be a success. It's like that.
I think you should make them shorter.
I bet the budget was probably at least like 200 million.
I just had it up a second ago. Here, the budget was
the budget of any of the like Age of Extinction, right? It had to.
Well, it was 100. The estimated budget's between 100 and 105. It made 468 million.
You also got to keep in mind you almost got to double the budget with the marketing. I mean, I guess the marketing wasn't as crazy as the other films.
Well, no, they didn't do. They didn't do a lot of marketing.
Again, remember the toys. The toys are the number one main thing.
Right.
But like
all this stuff doesn't matter.
How much toys did they really sell with?
There's like 3 or 4.
I don't know, but like no. These Bumblebee toys, because of that opening sequence,
it accelerated the Bumblebee sales, right?
Oh, it's like big time. Like I mean. Okay. It's the best Wheeljack that we're ever going to have because the Wheeljack in Rise of the Beast is a horse shit.
Yeah,
it's the best ever one we got.
I don't remember. Like I said, I haven't seen these in a while. So it's like you guys are talking about this. Like he just mentioned the the one scene in Age of Extinction where he's taking him on all the Transformers and the Dinobots come in. I'm like, I remember that scene, and I thought it was pretty kick-ass.
Look at Wheeljack in this. This was kick-ass.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I forgot his fucking name, but yeah,
like that's the toy. That's pretty damn good.
That really got me with Rise of the Beast. That pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah, this is garbage. Like he looks like an
absolutely.
idiot.
And then they made like some weird like racist, like he called the main character like racist or something. It was like stupid. It's like
because he's a race car driver.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, John, you're good?
Yeah, I'm good. I said yeah.
All right.
I'm keeping it simple. Like I said, I haven't seen these in a while, so I'm just doing.
Yeah, that's fine. Skeptic
for what number 4 now? Number 4 probably Revenge of the Fallen.
How is that not the lowest? I mean this you're crazy. You're talking crazy talk tonight.
Is this like
no? You're saying Revenge of the Fallen is your best, is your fourth best.
Look,
even Michael Bay doesn't like that one.
I enjoy watching the film. It's funny to me in like a weird way. Like,
Oh, dear.
I could totally see how he would enjoy watching this movie.
yeah,
because he's insane.
I mean, listen.
But,
I just can see him.
I mean, I like the pyramid stuff. I thought the lore on the Fallen and shit was kind of interesting, even though they could have dwelled into it a little more. I don't like how they made Megatron the lackey to him. That just seemed really dumb to me, I'll admit. But the twins were great. I'm kidding. No, fuck the twins. But hey, I'm not gonna lie. I really liked how they did Devastator in the movie. He was absolutely fucking insane.
Skeptic has to go now. All right, well, thanks for coming on, buddy. I appreciate it.
Oh, that was awesome. Watching the Constructicons come together was great.
Oh, it was cool.
Wrecking balls.
Yeah, besides the wrecking balls, it was cool.
I don't like the look of him.
He's like sucking everything in.
It looks like Danny DeVito or something.
What?
Danny DeVito?
Crash Man.
He's like this.
I think the twins look more like Danny DeVito, if anything.
Yeah.
I like it.
See,
I think it looks menacing and
That
cool.
was awesome.
It's Danny DeVito. You're right, Sean. That's exactly him.
You're just upset because it doesn't look like the Devastator from the 80s.
And in fact, if you look up Taxi, look up Danny DeVito Taxi. This is exactly what he looked. No, okay.
You look at him.
No, I think
funny.
I think he looks awesome. I don't know.
All right,
it was like one of those those Transformers I always wanted the Toya but never got. But
okay. Well, it's not illegal to be wrong. So
no, but like the soundtrack in the movie was pretty fucking good too. Like I don't know, like there's some really good aspects of the film. You can't not say that the forest scene in the film was one of the forest scene is the best action scene in the series. I'm sorry.
If there was
Shia gives the best performance in this film as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean the fact that he doesn't get stomped on in the freaking forest is insane. But yeah, no, the forest is like that. Just the choreography and everything, and like I don't know if you noticed, but like one thing I will give to each film is, especially like the earlier films, you got to notice like over time, like each character does learn how to counter the other characters. Like there's like little details of each way they're like fighting each other and stuff. Like Megatron in the second movie, he's struggling a lot. That's why he like gets killed. Like that's why he's getting like defeated easily by Optimus, because he's dealing with that massive freaking arm that he hasn't been able to like learn how to fight with. Like there's a weight
reconstructed with the dead bodies of other.
It's a huge weight distribution thing with him that he's just trying to deal with, because he's been trying to deal with this, like he's been in the same body for like millions of years, and now he has to deal with this new body. It's a new, I don't know. There's just little details
that was articulated beautifully. I'm sure they should have won an Oscar for performance.
But then that's one thing I was going to say about Galvatron. Is one thing I liked about that is in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, he gets really screwed up by the swords and stuff that Optimus has. In Revenge of the
Galvatron in that one?
No, in Galvatron's in 4, and Galvatron counters that by having the little like thing in his chest to completely destroy his swords. That was so cool. That's a cool detail. Like I don't like how they did Galvatron, but that was one detail that was really cool in that movie.
All right.
There's a lot of little details that you maybe don't notice or not. Like
the first 5 build on each other very, very well.
Oh yeah.
All right. So wait, what are we on here? We're on 4th.
Yeah. Mark? So we're moving to 3.
Oh, we're moving to 3. Okay. No. Mark did. Mark do his? Mark didn't do his 4th. Yeah.
My number 4th, and at this point, guys, we're talking movies that I've rewatched 1,000 times and will continue to rewatch 1,000 times. I love these movies, all 4 of them. But number 4 for me is The Last Night.
Oh dear. Oh my goodness. It's unwatchable. I don't know how you did it.
It's not. I'll explain how I did it. First off, I love the opening in Camelot, getting Merlin, having like his mystic tie is actually to Transformers. I thought that was awesome. Yeah. Like the whole cast switch that we did in the movie before this, like getting to dive into more of that. Like it's always fun wondering where these characters are going to go and kind of dropping off Cade's daughter and following his story. I enjoyed in the Anthony Hopkins lore and getting into Stonehenge again.
Yeah.
Not like Transformers outside of these movies lore, but the lore that they put in these films is extensive. I like Cogman. Like that was such a great touch with like the Clockwork Transformers, been there forever. When Finn's got multiple Cogman toys. They the whole World War II flashback where we get like the Transformers involved in that, but getting to the main story. When you get into like actually the quintessence, Cogman was a badass dude.
He was. He just like breaks his freaking finger.
I know, but he's supposed to be a headmaster, and that's hyper offensive to. I love headmasters, and that's like super offensive to me.
I completely can understand that full heartedly. But again, I'm coming from a place where this is my introduction to all of these things. Mm-hmm. So just I grant you that, and I raise you the Marvels. I'll shit on that with somebody any day.
Yeah, but it's a poop, and that's a poop movie. But I like it better than this.
I absolutely love Cogman. And when you get into Quintessa coming, I like that they're bringing the whole Cybertron here and introducing that Unicron is in the Earth. Like, I love that concept. And I heard Sean mention how they actually pulled inspiration from a certain series last night when I was listening to you guys. So that was cool to know. But, dude, the whole getting Megatron back from Galvatron using the Quintessent, I thought that was a great way to get him back to how we wanted to see him, and they just used the Galvatron just for a moment in time, just like it really is in the original series stuff. And then having Nemesis Prime, that whole thing with him and Bumblebee was absolutely great, was ridiculously great. And visually speaking, this is bar none the best Transformers, just from a visual special effects aspect.
That is a fact.
I sit there with my jaw on the floor watching this in 4K on my TV. Like, it was when I bought my 4K setup, this is the movie I bought with it. I got the TV, the Samsung player, the sound bar, and this movie because I wanted a disc to try it on. And Finn was like 2 years old, and he sat there in the floor and just drooled, thinking robots were real. Like, I loved everything about this movie. The action was great. The final battle is massive. I stop at the time. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Yeah, no, I said this before. I only had the Blu-ray. The awesomeness, like it looks amazing. Even on just Blu-ray, I'm watching it on a 4K player, but whatever. Even if you watch it on a Blu-ray player on the big screen with surround, it's insane.
You have a 4K TV, I'm assuming, right?
I have a 4K TV, and I've got 5.1 surround. Wait till
you watch this on a 4K disc one day.
I don't have the 4K actual disc but it upgrades it, whatever.
Just wait, dude. It's a treat. The scene of the underwater ship rising to the top. Optimus and B fighting on it. That fight was amazing. And just like that moment where he's like, "You're my best friend," and it just like snaps Optimus out of it. There's so much to like about this damn movie.
But like all the human dialogue is cringe beyond believe.
Haven't they always been cringe in these movies?
No, but this is extra.
It's
extra cringe. I know, but it's extra. I feel in this movie, it's too long. Like Merlin is there, then he's drunk. I'm like, oh wow, isn't that funny? I guess he's a drunk. Like I just like, what is the point? Just have it just be Merlin. If he played last night just as a straight movie and removed all the dumb comedy, then you could at least be like, well, there's some crazy good action. This is why everyone likes The Rock, because there's some goofy shit, but it's not like the entire movie is completely.
I don't remember a whole lot of comedy in the movie. I really don't.
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe
but
I blanked
Sean
it out
Connery
of my
is
mind,
cool, so they like Sean Connery. Anyways, okay, so
in the Last Night or in The Rock?
In The Rock.
There's some
funny moments.
Cage was
there's a lot of stupidity.
And then you had that actress who was at the time actively dating Michael Bay, who was only in there because she was his current girlfriend, and she delivered some of the most cringy dialogue in
for sure. Yeah, and I don't think The Rock is that great. I'm just saying everyone tolerate. Like to me, I don't really like any Michael.
Like James Gunn's wife.
I have to look. Let me look up Michael Bay movies and I'll see if I like any of them. Like actually like them.
You like Michael Bay movies? Armageddon, The Rock.
No, I hate Armageddon.
Who doesn't like
Pearl Harbor?
Oh, nobody likes it, Mark. You're alone. Everyone hates it.
I love Armageddon.
Stop it, John.
Armageddon.
No, it's so awful.
Transformers movies, Pain and Gain.
Oh, dear, I didn't even watch that.
What was that Netflix movie with Ryan Reynolds that was amazing? Absolutely amazing.
Six Underground?
Oh my God, it was so good.
What about Pearl Harbor?
Pearl Harbor? Yeah, dude, the dude doesn't make that.
Nobody likes the island.
No, the island's not great either. Okay, let's go. Let's number third. So this is where. Okay, so we got the top three. So I think this one should maybe be higher. I'm torn between like where Bumblebee should go. This is where I'm in a weird spot with Bumblebee. Wow, Sean, we did not talk about this beforehand.
Yes, you did. Shut up.
I feel no, we did. I feel. I mean, Dark of the Moon, like all of the action in Dark of the Moon is like crazy, and then it's Nimoy's Sentinel, right? I mean, he's like epic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Dark of the Moon is one of the ones where I'm like, you know what? I almost like I'd probably say I like 60 to 70% of what goes on in that movie. So I don't know. The thing with Bumblebee is that the beginning is so cool, and I don't find anyone obnoxious. So it's almost like I'm like, Bumblebee is a less obnoxious movie with less cool Transformers things. Dark of the Moon has way better Transformer things, but I just don't like any of the characters at all. Like they just all die. Like I don't care at all. I'll say Dark of the Moon is number 3. And I didn't want to say Dark of the Moon was number 3 because I wanted to say it was the best, but I'm just gonna go with that. Shockwave is friggin' awesome in it. Sentinel Prime is like pretty damn awesome. I think this third movie was the first time. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll take. I think part 3 was where I was thinking, okay, maybe they can turn this around. I didn't like part 1, and I hated part 2, and we didn't see 3 in the theater because we're like, well, I'm done with this series. But then I saw 3 at home, and I thought, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I've got like 7 of those. I went to Dollarama and bought them all.
These tiny guys are awesome. Yeah.
I bought all of them. I bought all of Dollarama's tiny Transformers and gave them to everybody. Yeah, that is awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a
I
better.
got a big Shockwave.
I want to get the G1 eventually. I feel like I should pick up that G1 Shockwave I saw on Facebook.
You should get it. Yeah. So yeah, Dark of the Moon is the first time where I was like, I have hope like for the series. Like maybe they can do something. So yeah, that's my number 3. But if someone says Dark of the Moon is their number 1, then that's obvious. Like I wouldn't say that's weird. I would just be like, yeah, it's probably the best one. So there you go. Sean, is it the same?
It's the same.
Wow, that is crazy.
I'm shocked
because the thing is that I feel like this is more memorable than Bumblebee, but I can watch Bumblebee and not get annoyed by it.
Right.
Whereas Dark of the Moon is awesome, but like when admired from afar, and when you watch it, it's like, oh yeah, these parents and everything. It's like,
God, they're so awful.
It's like it's unnecessary, but like so Dark of the Moon is a mishmash of Ultimate Doom, which is a 3-parter from season 1, and Megatron's Master Plan, which I think is a 2-parter from season 2, where they turn humanity against the Autobots and they blast them into the sun or whatever.
Check out the playlist. Sean and I covered all of these episodes. Check it out.
Yeah, so they mishmash those and they toss in Shockwave. So to me, it's the closest to the cartoons, in my opinion. I mean, and they do a lot of weird stuff, like the Wreckers are in here, but they don't do anything, you know. In the comics, they're awesome, but here it's like they're Wreckers in name only. There's a lot of Transformers in this thing. So yeah, to me, I can recognize what I love about Transformers in this movie. My only problem is all the Shia LaBeouf stuff and all the parents.
You didn't like him screaming in the car?
Pardon?
You didn't like him screaming in the car in like the security little border.
I don't know.
Thing.
But this is clearly the best guy. This is the best guy of the whole thing.
No, he has like a spaz
attack by him because like they retained that head, which is very iconic, the face with the eye. And I love when Tyrese is like, the Decepticons have all the cool shit, you know, like that's awesome.
That is true.
Yes, they do.
And he's got this cool vehicle that can burrow into things and stuff like
that. Okay,
yeah,
no, when that thing, I'll say this, and I'll when that was burrowing through, that is outrageous. It's just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This thing is it's pure destruction.
I even like the is this the one with Patrick Dempsey, right?
I like Patrick Dempsey in this one too.
And Soundwave, his car that he gives to
Carly,
right, yeah. Yeah, no, all that stuff is cool, and this is a Sentinel Prime one, right? And
Yep.
this had a lot of cool
Oh,
stuff in it. It's the
Yeah.
coolest one, right?
And
So
it had major deaths in it. They killed Ironhide in it. Like it
Yep.
was
Right.
staked into
Yeah.
the movie.
Well, and there's a lot of PG death that is probably R, but it's sci-fi violence. So they show a lot of charred corpses and a lot of skeletons and a
Yeah.
lot of humans turning into skeletons.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm with J-Man. If this is number one, I understand.
Maybe objectively it is number one. I don't know.
The
Well, let's
thing
see what
is,
the other guys.
and then you watch it, and then it's like, well, there's stupidness in here, so it's gonna knock
God,
it
I
down a
know.
few pegs, right?
John
So
Malkovich.
that's my problem. But yeah.
Okay, so
Man.
Mark, go next. Mark, you can go next, and we'll
What
switch up
number
the
am I
order.
on? Three.
So three, top
Yeah,
three.
number three for me is Rise of the Beast. Phenomenal movie. I think they did so good with it. It was fun. It was action packed. The story moved fast. It was great getting a different like shake up cast of the Transformers. Been wanting the Beast because, like I mentioned y'all earlier, when I was coming up, it was the Beast Wars that was on. I grew up with an Optimus Primal toy that I got for Christmas when I was young.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought that was great. Watching this different Optimus that's like still like not sold on Earth, who's still worried about home, and watching him come over to be that Optimus that we've seen through all the other ones was fun to do. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's supposed to be regal and loving humans from the start. He's supposed to not give a shit about his own people from the start." But I thought it made perfect sense. If you read the Transformers comic, he just went through that same thing in this issue number 12, which was great. But even with Bumblebee, he died. We knew he's coming back. But oh my God, what a comeback!
That was cool.
Dude, the soundtrack was great. It wasn't necessarily spot on of its era. And we got the greatest transformation scene out of any movie in the franchise when they were blowing up the big machine at the end and Optimus was about to get sucked into it and Noah grabs him and hits the boosters and Optimus just hits the full transform and does that wide angle spin around and just his arm comes out and grabs Noah. Then Noah's just on his back with the rockets going. I'm like, what the fuck did I just see? Like my brain literally couldn't process it. I had to watch it like back on YouTube again just to see that scene to understand. And I loved Noah getting the suit. That was
cool. Yeah,
Mirage was
and
great.
That's
the cast was great. Like
that's in like humans getting stuff is all over Transformers. Like that's not, they didn't make that up for this movie.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah,
the Terracons were cool. Like Scourge was legitimately a badass, dude. Like he was scary.
Yeah, he was.
I want to mention one thing. Sorry, I keep forgetting to mention this. Honorable mention goes to Steve Jablonsky, who scored the I think the first 5 movies. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So you're frozen, but you froze on a good spot. He's great. I agree. I have all the soundtracks.
Yeah, like I remember the one thing I did like about the first movie was that soundtrack. I love the
the arrival
when the Autobots answer the call and they're coming down.
Yeah, that's cool.
And there's this
and then when Optimus
music.
shows up at the final
it's so great. He did a lot of cool experimentation with these films, and no one really gives him enough praise. I do enjoy the soundtracks a lot.
And what was his name?
Steve Jablonsky, I think his name is.
Let's get him up.
Yeah, the soundtracks are iconic at this point. When you hear that music, you know you're listening to Transformers. You know.
Yeah, that's how you spell it, Jablonsky.
Jablonsky, yeah.
Common spelling.
Yeah, that's a name. That's an in joke with Sean and I with one of our buddies. Sean, thank you so much for. We got we got the battle of the Seans. We got the SH and the SE.
Yeah.
Okay, so John, what was your third best?
See, this is why I wish I would have watched them before. Like I haven't seen these in a long time, but I'm gonna go with and I know you're gonna be like, Jamin, like what the fuck? But I'm gonna go with number 1 for number 3. Right. Listen, yeah, Optimus Prime. Yeah, okay. So what are you gonna do? I mean, all right, I'm going on a sense of I was there with the comic books and the cartoon from the 80s. And like I told you at the beginning of the stream, I was pumped when I came out of the theater. I was like, I just saw a live action Transformer movie, and did I need Shia LaBeouf? Hell no. I would kind of wish that they didn't. Like again, I was a Josh Duhamel fan. I liked him and Tyrese Gibson. I liked the military aspect of it, because that's what you would have like if you had big robots coming down from the skies, and descending. And I loved how it was more grounded in the sense that it was in the city, because like in Revenge of the Fallen's in the desert. It's like who cares? There's pyramids, big deal.
Yeah, I like it in the
A lot of
city.
destruction going on, but it's like but here it's like it's more epic in its scope of harrowing danger because this is in a city, people are dying, stuff like that.
I think it's easier to understand what the hell is going on compared to some of the others because it gets just so much of a clusterfuck later on in the later films.
Made the first one, and he had here's the thing: he made the first one, but then he tries to outdo himself.
Yeah,
I think because that's what you got to do with sequels. You got to go bigger and badder. By the time you get to, he's just like, all right, we're gonna throw the kitchen sink in this motherfucker now. So it's just, I like the climax. Did Shia I kind of related to Ninja 3: The Domination, Jim, and we just talked about it. Where because Lucinda Dick was supposed to kill the ninja at the end.
Oh, that would have been terrible. And that you see,
they changed that one.
But they changed it,
Yeah.
John.
Yes,
Exactly.
so they should have changed that aspect in here.
Yes.
But it's like, listen, he's Optimus Prime. I get it, but even Optimus Prime needs help sometimes, and it's like, and
not in his first movie.
Here's the thing, you needed to do that because you have people watching this movie that weren't diehard Transformers fans, and they needed to resonate with it. So they got the human aspect of it too. At least I thought. This is my opinion of it. So
yeah, but then they walk out saying they walk out saying Optimus Prime sucks.
Optimus Prime was a
no, I never. When I was a kid, I thought Optimus Prime was fucking awesome in the movie. I never thought he was bad. I never thought he was like incapable or whatever.
Okay, hold on, Skeptic. Hold on. I'm saying new audience who doesn't know anything walks out saying Optimus Prime sucks. It was Shia LaBeouf's movie.
You're not gonna walk out of there saying, "See that, J-Man? You're just you got your blinders on because you were there from the beginning."
No, I had it wide open, and I saw everyone.
I thought he was awesome. I was like 8 years old, and I fucking loved the movie at the time.
Like I said, I went to see it in IMAX, and the sound, the scope, the visuals, the battle action. I was just like, my 9-year-old came out of me watching this fucking movie. So I was like, I have this relationship with it. I'm sorry. Yeah, Shia LaBeouf stabs him at the end with the freaking thing. Who cares?
Yeah. But no, you were right on Ninja 3. You see, they filmed it. They're like, if this girl kills the ninja, that sucks.
Well, that's because,
of course it sucks.
Kasugi walked off the set. They had to
because Sho Kasugi was like, wait, I don't kill the ninja? Well, whose series is this? It's like, oh shit, you're right. I love Lucinda Dickey in that movie. We all loved her. We all praised her.
I think that if they kept it the way it was going to be, like where she was supposed to turn into the ninja at the end, I thought that would have been kind of kick-ass for that to happen.
Yeah, but that would have been weird. Rachel Ziegler would have said weird on that one. She'd be like, weird. Why is that happening? That's
you know what?
At first, when you were talking about Ninja 3, I thought you were talking about 3 Ninjas Kickback.
No, we're not talking about those movies. We're talking about the real Ninja 3: The Domination.
I only saw the first 3 Ninjas, and that was enough for
me. They were talking about this.
Yeah, we're talking about that. Yeah, there we go.
But it cuts off before it gets good.
Wait, was that scene in the movie, or is that
yeah, she pours V8 all over herself, and then he drinks it off of her.
That's a weird
He
advertisement.
pulls the lucky bastard on top of her. Yeah.
Okay, Skeptic, what's your third favorite?
Yeah,
do you remember which ones you've already used?
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with number 3. With this
number 3, 3 for 3. All right.
Yeah, because I really I do like this film a lot. I really do. It feels not lighthearted. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I don't know what it is. It just feels easy to watch, but there's a lot of aspects I really like the big ass battle in the city. It felt like it was like the climactic ending of the series. I didn't think there was going to be a 4th movie. I really didn't. But
that's why I liked 3. I think they didn't think there was going to be one either. They just said, let's just go crazy and just
Oh yeah, the big worm thing. It was like Avengers came out like a year later, or like around the same time. It was like what the. It felt so weird that there was like 2 movies with big ass freaking things going through buildings like at the same in the same year. But yeah, no, but you know, I didn't like I didn't like how they did Shockwave in the movie. Honestly, it kind of pissed me off because they just killed him off like in like one fight scene with Optimus. And in things I've read and you know the comics and stuff, and you know like in Transformers Prime, that show, Shockwave is absolutely like he is like really powerful. He is more powerful than Megatron in some lore, actually. Like he is insane.
Don't
like,
read issue 12 of
oh, you showed me.
Skybound's
Yeah. No, that's bullshit. No, there's no way.
Optimus Prime broke his face. That was awesome.
Shockwave is insane. He is
Shocker.
Like, he shouldn't have died in this movie, and I don't get why these films suck at villain selection. I think, like, I'll get into it with one later.
Well, they're trying to.
Because I think Shockwave and Soundwave should have been in the first movie. I'll get into that more later, but like
I don't know about Shockwave in the first movie. That would have been too, because then you got two.
Okay, yeah, maybe the second one because he, you know, in the cartoon he's mostly on Cybertron, but like Soundwave should have been in it. But that I should talk about that later. But
okay, so wait, what's your second? Since you're still going, what's your second favorite then? Because Mark did his third, so we can just tell me your second favorite, and then
I'm not done with the third one.
Okay.
Sentinel Prime was fucking awesome. The little twist with Sentinel Prime, I at the time when I was a kid, I didn't expect that at all. Like him just like completely like, you know, he was really smart too. He kills off one of the strongest, you know, Transformers because Ironhide kicks fucking ass by that point, especially. Yeah, no, I don't know. I really like Sentinel Prime's design. I'm terrible at explaining things, but yeah. The final little like fight on the bridge at the end was fucking awesome, and yeah, no, his design looks awesome. Like you're not gonna get that confused with somebody else like in a fight scene. There's no way.
No, by part 3, I could tell who everybody was.
Yeah, no, yeah, and you know him having Leonard Nimoy's voice was a big callback to the first film, so that was awesome. I mean the
86 movie, yes.
Yeah.
He should have been Galvatron and Sentinel Prime. He could have talked to himself. He'd be like,
oh, that would have been awesome. Yeah. No, I kind of liked how they did Megatron, but I didn't like how weak he was at that point. Like, I don't know. Like, I thought his design was kind of cool. Like over time, like he gets this new body in the second movie, and then in the third one, he's so fucked up. Like he's got like chains all around him, like holding him together. Like he's barely like, and he does not stand a chance against Optimus at the end, which I don't agree with how Optimus was in the film. I don't think Optimus was too brutal in that film, and I don't think it was necessarily justified yet. It was kind of justified in 4 with what happened in that film, but 3, he was just kind of almost evil at some points in my head. Like he's just. I can't see him just out of nowhere. Like even after Megatron helps him, I don't think G1 Optimus would have just killed Megatron straight up at the end like that. Like after
you mean like he decapitates Sentinel Prime in that one? Like
yeah, I mean it was an easy kill for him to kill Megatron, but it didn't sit right with me. I don't think Optimus would do that.
Okay, what's your number 2? I got to finish this in like half an hour, so let's go.
Okay,
number 2.
Number 2 is Bumblebee. So, I don't know what the first is, but Bumblebee is amazing. Absolutely, the opening, everything. I'm sure for all of us, but it's like everything I've wanted from the live action Transformers movies. Every single design on the Cybertron planet, every single design is absolutely perfect. Like I would not want them any other way. Like with the designs of the Transformers, they are absolutely perfect. Each one, like that, they're realistic looking and stuff, but they totally look like G1. I love it, and I really like the story. Like the story of Bumblebee really felt like like one of those like I don't know like ET type. Like it was like it's like they tried to do Transformers 1, but they written it a little better where like you actually liked the main character, like the female character, like you actually like kind of like her. I don't know about you guys, but she's a really relatable character. She's like Spider-Man almost, or like Peter Parker, where she like has a shitty job and she just wants to like do something better with her life, and she's like in the ruts because her father died or whatever. Like she has a lot going on, and I like her a lot. She has a lot of personality, and I'm kind of sad that she's not going to be in the films anymore. But as far as I know, but I mean, makes sense. But
yeah, she's Kate Bishop.
Yeah, that's true. But no, I really like her. She's if you had to have a human character in it, she's really likable. But the fact that they like this is, I think they were trying to have it like canon with the Bavers, so they didn't want to do this. But the I don't know, the fact that they didn't have Bumblebee speaking, well, they did, but they had a good explanation for it, I guess. But like the fact that he's not speaking throughout the film really frustrates me again. Like they had to do that again, but I don't know if that was their explanation for how it got how he got like, you know, killed and his voice got killed in the first movie. But that's not how they explained it in the first movie. But anyway,
right.
sorry. I know it's
Okay.
a clusterfuck.
Okay.
I have an issue with killing Starscream in the opening.
Yeah, that was poop.
Starscream? What? They killed off
They
Starscream?
killed Starscream in the opening of Bumblebee.
I don't remember that.
That's who ripped
Yes,
out the box, and he.
No, that wasn't Starscream.
Oh, who was
That was somebody else. I don't know his name, but
That wasn't Starscream?
It looked
No,
like
that was not.
Starscream from Gen 1.
It does, but it was not Starscream. No.
Okay.
I remember like looking up.
Ramjet?
Yeah, I remember looking up like all kinds of like analysis, trailer analysis and shit like that. And then when the film came out, yeah, everybody in the trailers thought it was going to be Starscream, but it's not.
I don't think it looked like Ramjet to me. Okay, Mark, you can go now. What's your second favorite? And
My second favorite is Dark of the Moon for me, the reasons y'all just mentioned, but I don't know how y'all didn't bring up John Malkovich.
Yes, he's cool.
It was amazing. Like when he was fussing at the people, he's like, was that a red cup on my yellow floor? It is a visual, therefore visceral betrayal. Stop it.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Okay, the boss guy was really fucking funny.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I absolutely Blitzwing it says. So I absolutely loved everything about number 3. The scope and scale, that was over I think it did like 1.2 billion in the theater back when it came out, and prices weren't even so high. That was a massive movie. It was a massive event for me. Like I was a store manager of a movie stop back then. It was like GameStop, but it was a sister company. So I would organize these midnight release watch parties at the theater back before you could go on Thursday at 4. You'd have to wait till midnight. So it was like this whole thing. And I can just remember like when it hits that point, when they fire up the pillars and the movie has like this crazy shift where it just starts flashing scenes and it cuts to like the shot over Chicago with the invasion happening and the bombs falling and the people coming up into the parks, and you're just like, holy shit, how big is this? And it just took it to a whole nother level. I thought it was absolutely insane. And of course, Shockwave was nuts, and Prime was flying in that movie at the end. It was another thing to see that was cool since Revenge of the Fallen. But y'all touched on most of it. That was
and Carly's finally there.
That's Jason Statham's wife.
Yeah. Rose Huntington.
I don't know. I just call her Carly.
Call her Mrs. Jason Statham.
Mrs. Yeah, that way we don't get
this one. Rosie Huntington, whatever.
She's a cutie, man. But she was fun. The parents,
Jason Statham.
They took the parents a little too far, but it was fine.
Oh, she was the British girl in the third one.
Yeah, she was.
She's Carly. That's his girlfriend in the
cartoon.
Oh, that pissed me off in the third one.
And she's in the current. Carly's the one who's with RC in the current comics.
Yeah, by name.
Definitely
don't look like her.
It doesn't look like her. They race card swapped. They swapped race cars on that one.
I can't blame the film. I cannot blame the film for it. Sorry, go on.
No, the movie didn't swap race cars. The new comic did, but it's not a massive problem. Like Carly doesn't. She does a little bit in Headmasters,
Change
but
your hair color.
yeah. I think yeah. All right, John, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Rise of the Beasts.
Nice.
Yes.
And here's why. Like, by the time Beast Wars came out, I was unfortunately not following Transformers at the time. Life, does what it does. And, I had gotten out of it. Not that I wanted to. So I was kind of excited to see it, and like get into that because I didn't get to see the cartoons or anything like that. And again, kind of like Bumblebee, I like how Stephen Cable Jr., who directed this one, it was a little bit stripped down, more low key. We had great action sequences, but it wasn't like the massive, like,
cool.
what's going, And again, Michael Bay's Michael Bay, but I liked how he kept his battle scenes more focused and a lot more entertaining. I loved the Beast. I loved Optimus Primal. I thought he was badass, and I liked how it was a prequel. It was in the '90s, so Optimus Prime wasn't sold on humanity. That was kind of cool. Like how because we had just seen all these movies where it was like Sam, and everything. So that was kind of
impression.
Cool. And I can't. And again, as you all as Sean and J-Man know, I'm a massive G.I. Joe fan, and the Stinger scene at the end, I was just like, my fucking God, I can't believe they do that. I hope they don't fuck it up. I was just like, please, for the love of God, do that right. That's all I got to say about that one.
It'll be just as good as the Snake Eyes movie, I guarantee it.
Don't blow my enthusiasm, please. But when he recruited him into and again, that goes back to the characters too. I love Noah. I love the characters. You're invested in them. Like
Noah Diaz.
They weren't like cartoonish like Sam was after a while and everything, and and you cared about him. And again, I kind of liked how he got the suit. I mean, this is an unpopular opinion, but at the end of the Predator, I kind of dug the Predator killer suit. I was like, I'd like to see how that works. And and see that in a future movie, which we won't, but that's fine.
That's my news.
But yeah, I thought it was cool in this movie how he was able to, kind of do that and rock it with the Autobots and stuff like that. But again, the Stinger scene, it was a chef's kiss. I was like, you need to do that, and please just don't F it up. But yeah, that's my number 2.
All right, Sean, number 2
is Bumblebee. It's coherent, but not as exciting as Rise of the Beast, which is also fairly coherent. But but look, I like the 2 villains in Bumblebee. It's a Dropkick and Shatter. And Travis Knight said that Travis Knight's the director of that one, right? Bumblebee.
Correct.
He said that Nightbird, which is the J-Man. Do you remember Nightbird from the G1 series? She was the ninja robot. Yeah.
Yep.
And then they use Nightbird in Rise of the Beast, which is pretty cool. But I like that it's pared down. It's simple. That it makes the 2 villains more menacing. It's cool. It's as you said, Mark. It's slow, but I do enjoy it. I do like it going back to like a simple just storytelling structure rather than just like shoving it full of crap that doesn't make any sense but looks cool. So yeah, Bumblebee's number 2.
Cliff Jumper.
Pardon?
Cliff Jumper.
Cliff Jumper. # never forget.
Cliff Jumper.
Oh yeah, they
executed him on the moon on the way to Earth.
Cliff Jumper always dies. Search on YouTube.
Always.
Cliff Jumpers always dies. The guys that got a video of every time he's died, but not in this. Not in Skybound.
Yeah, in Prime he was voiced by The Rock, and he dies the first episode.
He dies immediately.
Yeah. So yeah, it's number 2 for me.
All right. Well, we got the same list then. So Bumblebee's number 2 for me. Same exact reasons. This movie, I would say that I like this movie.
Yeah.
So I liked Haley as well. I liked all the, John Cena's, whatever, he's John Cena. All the same reasons you guys gave. So I don't need to repeat those. So then my number 1 is Rise of the Beasts. Nice. I saw this by myself. Nobody wanted to go to it.
That's crazy.
So that is crazy. Yeah. I actually really I only have one negative, and it's really irritating and garbage, and that is Wheeljack's awful, stupid, garbage look. It's so stupid, I can't believe it. Yeah. Like right after we got an awesome looking Bumblebee, like he's one of the faces where it's like I'm in a Facebook group where they just do the outline of the Transformer from the packaging, and it's all black, and then you could tell you try to figure out who it is based on the outline. You're like, oh yeah, so Wheeljack's the easiest. You're like, oh yeah, he's got those things on the side. But like, it's not here. It's like, why not just make it? I don't
They
understand.
did it on purpose.
But RC looks badass.
She is badass.
She is badass.
Yeah, she was a badass.
Everyone looks cool. That Mark, what you were saying with that transforming thing. I actually liked Noah. I thought, I like this guy. He's pretty cool. I didn't mind that girl either. Like nobody was cringe or anything like that. I know, yeah, Skeptic, you didn't like Rise of the Beast, but all of us are like putting that one higher up. The thing is that like I got into the story, and Dinklage, I thought the voice was great. I was like,
I thought the villain was really forgettable.
I know they put him in. It's almost like, oh, okay, but he was pretty cool. I don't know. I like Primal and like the two guys together, cool. Look, it's Optimus Prime. It is wrong that he has to come to like humans, but it is an arc. At least I understand what's happening. And I'm like, they gave Peter Cullen something rather than just saying lines. It's like, okay, now you have to have an arc in this. So in the beginning of the movie, you're different than in the end. Mirage looked pretty cool. I wish he had it's just little gripey things. Like it's G1 gripey things. Like why couldn't he have the missile on the side? Like, I mean, that I just have the missile. Like, it looks cool to me. Like, just have it. Like, I don't get why it's just little gripey things where it's like people don't really care, but I'm just thinking, just put a missile here. Like, you're still going to look awesome. He was Mirage. He was the G1 actual Mirage in that 1 second where he was able to morph to different
Mirages.
Yeah. He was actually, that was kind of neat. And he had his powers and stuff. So he had his powers. This was the first one where I felt like, okay, they're adding things in, and it's about the Transformers fully. The humans are there to help the Transformers storyline go by, and it's fully I'd say like 90% about them. The G.I. Joe thing at the end is pretty neat. I'm in the minority big time that I don't like G.I. Joe and Transformers mixing. My reason for that is that I feel G.I. Joe is pushed down because I love G.I. Joe, but like, I mean, if you have the Transformers and the Joes, it's like, well, the Transformers are like clearly cooler.
Yes,
and the Decepticons are way bigger as a threat than Cobra would be. Like, it's like, okay, we don't have time to fight Cobra. We got to fight the Decepticons. Like, this is like a way worse threat. I'll let everybody respond to that. But anyways, so there you go. Rise of the Beast is my number one.
Josh Duhamel has pretty much been Duke for the entire Transformers franchise.
Thank you.
Like, what are you talking about? The Joes have been there the whole time, just not by name.
Right. No, I'm just saying it. I think it
is still the star. That's the point. Like the GI Joes will always be outshone by the Transformers.
They just will.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and I don't want GI Joe. Like, I don't want GI Joe to be outshined. Like,
well, let's be honest here. Which one's cooler? Not in this movie franchise, but just in general.
Transformers is the coolest thing.
Transformers the cooler one. So we don't have to pretend like the Joes aren't. Just put them in the movie and let the Transformers be cooler.
Or make a true G.I. Joe movie.
Or just make a G.I. Joe movie with the actual characters in it. And Snake Eyes is a ninja, right? Doesn't he?
Ray Park, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Ray Park. Oh, yeah, he was awesome. Okay, so that was my number one. Sean, I guess, did you get to see?
I finally saw it yesterday. So
nice.
This is not recency bias. It's my number one right now, but and the thing is, I don't think it's all that great a movie. It's right. Cool.
I didn't want to out you because you didn't see. I was like, nobody went to go see this with you. I was like, Sean, are you seriously not going to watch this?
I had some sort of legitimate reason I couldn't go.
You did have a legit reason to not go.
There's no such thing as a legitimate reason to not go see a movie with your bro.
No, he must have had vid or something like that. It was something. Yeah, it was something. Yeah. But it actually was real because we don't even. If I don't want to see something, I'll just say it sucks.
Thing or something. But
yeah, it was a real reason. Okay, anyways, so Rise of Beast.
Yeah, no, Rise of Beast. It's coherent, and the Transformers are characters. I mean, there's some characters that don't talk, like Rhydox. I mean, they pull this trick again where it's like they're pulling on nostalgia strings. But they don't present the characters. It's like Cheetor, I think, has a couple lines. I don't think Rhynox says anything at all.
No,
Air Razor doesn't even transform.
Right.
So it's so weird. I mean, I watched Beast Wars as well as a teenager, I was too old to watch it, but I thought it was awesome. And they tied it into G1, which I thought was awesome. So, yeah, Rise of the Beast it has great villains as well. I mean, not great, but at least they're distinctive. You know, you have a triumvirate there. And they finally have
the validity. Do you think that adds to the validity of the movie at all, Sean? Like, if you have a large ensemble cast, do you think it helps the movie if you have a checklist? All right, we have all these in here. All of them have to talk. All of them have to transform. Or if you treat them like they're just cast members, and some will, some won't, some will fall, like Air Razor, and that adds more like stakes. I know it's fun to see them all transform or hear them all talk, but would that have helped the movie, or would that overbloated the movie?
I think that if you're going to add characters at all or include characters at all, have them transform or talk. If you're not going to do that, why are they there, right?
Well, I think specifically, well, they served a purpose. Like they, have you seen Small Soldiers? Like how all those little toys had a moment, but not all of them had a lead. Or think back of James Cameron's Alien, the whole squad of Colonial Marines. I can name them all, despite not all of them having a part other than having to die in that movie.
Yeah, they have specific distinctive things, like and that's the thing. Like that movie's a good example of that, in that you can do two cool things and be memorable, and that's it. You don't need to have soliloquies and stuff, right?
So, Air Razor served a major point.
Yeah, she's cool
in that movie, despite not transforming. We got to see Cheetor and Rhinox transform and go ham, but I don't think we needed to hear them talk necessarily, especially at the introduction way of them like in hiding and blah blah blah. And they were out in the sticks also. Like it wasn't like they were around population or people.
Yeah, we don't need to hear them talk. It's just a gripe of mine. I mean, if you're going to include them, and I mean, Rhinox is a major character in Beast.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the thing with aliens is that those are all new people who just showed up in this movie. Yeah. If you're using it, think of it this way: if you did a movie with like all these Marvel guys, and then none of them speak and they just die, you're like, oh look, there's Black Panther. Oh, he's dead. Oh well, he did one thing. It's like, yeah, but Black Panther is dead. That's weird. Like that's the problem. Quicksilver. Yeah, I love Quicksilver, and he didn't do any. And I've got a tattoo of Quicksilver right there. And I'm like, Quicksilver. I'm like, that's he's dead. This is shit, right? I still really.
He had personality though in the movie.
Yeah, but like it's like he doesn't do anything in that, and you're like, oh, that's it. So if it's an established character that you already like, that's the problem. With new character, if you had a bunch of new bots that were just Cybertronian bots and they just died, like, well, they're just fodder guys. But that's my thing.
One last thing.
I'm addressing these movies as the movies are my introduction to these things. From that aspect of a technical film, not necessarily an established franchise adaptation. So I get it. I completely understand what you're saying.
But I don't mind it. I don't mind it in this, but just in this movie, I don't mind it. Like that Rhinox didn't speak doesn't bother me in this movie because he's not dead and he could speak in a later movie. Versus we didn't get Air Razor transformed and she's dead, and you're like, well, but now she's dead. What?
It's just weird because they're selling the toy. It's like you didn't even.
That's the only toy I was able to get out of all of that damn toy line. That was the only one. They were sold out here.
They're really good. They're really good.
They're cool.
But anyway, Unicron's in this. That's awesome. It took him long enough.
Hell
he looks great.
And I think he's pretty good here. The only thing is, I mean, he's one and done in this thing. I mean, I guess he could come back, but it's the same.
No, I think he was coming back.
Thing, right? So,
yeah, they didn't beat him. They just stopped him from showing up.
Yeah, he's gonna show up later, probably in like the 2 movies ahead or whatever.
Yeah. This is cool. I think this list of mine is going to change around if I did it 2 years from now or something like that. So, hey.
All right, John, number 1, best.
Dark of the Moon.
Dark of the Moon, yeah.
Hell yeah. Good pick.
Okay, so let me just prelude that by saying that I'm probably the massive G.I. Joe fan on this panel, and I always thought they were cool.
Nice. No. Listen, I had more. I did think they were cooler than Transformers when I was a little kid. That's because I had tons of G.I. Joes and Transformers were expensive, so I didn't have very many.
There you go. And like I said, like with that project they have coming, I could just I've seen in my mind so many times the fuck yeah moments for Snake Eyes.
I just want to warn you about something. I did hear. I mean, it's just rumors, and take it with a grain of salt. But and there's no spoilers, don't worry. But I did hear that you're talking about Transformers is so much cooler. Well, I've heard that the G.I. Joe characters are basically going to be in the background. That's just a rumor, but like an apparent
Why
leak
do
or
a
whatever.
crossover?
Like, I just want the G.I. Joe normal movie with the
We'll
real
see.
Storm Shadow and the real
that's-
Snake
yeah,
Eyes.
Yeah,
yeah,
let's hope we get that. But I'm just saying, don't get your expectations too high for the
Ray Park looked awesome.
Oh,
Everyone thought that guy looked great in that
Ray Park was
movie.
awesome.
The visor. Anyways,
But they
okay,
took
continue,
his mouth
John.
off from the first one. I don't know why they put the mouth on his face.
Yeah.
Ray Park should have been
All
in
right.
Snake Eyes.
John, finish up.
Go back to Dark of the Moon.
Yeah,
'cause,
Dark
like,
of the Moon, Dark of the
my
Moon.
number one, real quick. So again, I was a fan of the first one. Sorry, J-Man. Like I said, even with Shia LaBeouf aiding Optimus Prime at the end. But then, like, I thought Revenge of the Fallen, even though I enjoyed the battle scenes and stuff like and stuff, I thought they fumbled it on the one but they brought it back. And I like the aspect of it combining it with the moon landing and NASA, and that was kind of a cool aspect right there to kind of like instill the history and like
That is cool.
We're part of this. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And Shia LaBeouf again, whatever. I mean, I love how he went from Megan Fox to Mrs. Jason Statham, and I'm like, wow, dude, you were like freaking killing it in terms of getting girlfriends. But it's the ending for me, and I always said, and if I did a review for it when it came out, I would have been like, if Black Hawk Down had a child with the first Transformers movie, this would have been the finale. And then Halo jumping with the raccoon suits. Oh man, that is a freaking awesome. It's just like the Godzilla
through
one.
the buildings and everything.
Yes, and they're zooming through and everything, and just to combine it, like you have awesome robot fights, and you got the military guys doing their thing, and they got the coolest looking freaking weapons, and again, it's like the first one where it's Chicago, and it's grounded in the sense that there's because like this is taking place in another city, and Chicago gets wasted, and so there's a sense of scale to the oh man, this is like really happening type of thing, and I like it, the finale, and that's what bumped it up to. That's always what's made it my favorite, Transformer movie.
Yeah, and it's like an hour and 12-minute long finale. Like,
and some people say it's too long, but I was when I was watching it in IMAX the first time. Yeah,
we touched on it way earlier, but that the bridge battle, Optimus with one arm, when they finally take down Sentinel and Megatron thought it was over, and fuck no, he picks up the axe and just dismantles Megatron. Sick of it, like full on. Yep. And again, the execution scene when they're all rounded up, everybody's rounded up about to get shot, and Optimus comes in and hits that landing and slides. Like, he's coming in so
that was sick.
With his blade out and axe out, and he's just cutting everyone into pieces as he spins through the street. You're just like, what the fuck?
And that's why I wish I had seen it before this again, because to refresh because you saying it, I'm like, yes, that was.
Dude, all this stuff lives in my mind rent free every day. I love it.
Yeah.
The only original comic book art I have is a page of the Bayverse Transformers comic. Even I'm a stooge.
Where's the? Is that all? Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It features Optimus and Megatron on it.
There's some interesting lore. Like Ironhide was friends with Megatron in the Bayverse, like in the Cybertron days.
They're all friends with everybody in Transformers 1. So.
And I love that they introduced
the
arc, and they introduced the arc in number 3 as well.
Yes.
It was on it. It landed on the moon. The pillars.
All right, so Mark, is Dark of the Moon your number 1?
It is not. That's my number 2.
Oh, that was your number 2. What was your number 1?
Yeah, it's Age of Extinction. My absolute favorite, my favorite Transformer. I think it's just the love of dinosaurs. I love Grimlock. Like Optimus has never been more heroic. In the introduction of Crosshairs, Drift, and Hound, y'all mentioned you have distinctive looking suits watching Optimus transform up, and he does like the cool ass shit, like grabs his sword and flexes, and you see you just see what more they're capable of. I like getting introduced. I love Wahlberg. He's just a fun guy to watch on screen. Cade was great having a tinkerer, his daughter dynamic. Watching TJ Miller get killed was a blast. but let's think how much was going on. Like, you had Cade, the introduction of that. You had Kelsey Grammer working with the military with that amazing actor. What is that guy's name? Titus something. He was on Sons of Anarchy, but he was like the Black Ops dude that Kelsey Grammer was giving the orders to. Working with Lockdown, like kills Ratchet in the opening scene. Lockdown was scary as hell. Not to mention, we've got Stanley Tucci playing with their DNA, which they explore in the opening with the first sight of the quintessence coming to Earth and dropping the seeds and like creating more transformium. So you get like Galvatron, which I thought was cool as shit. Loved the way they played it. Loved that he wasn't the big bad. He was just something they had to deal with in that moment. But lockdown, his whole ship drawing everything up in China at the end, like the special effects were great. The whole escape from the ship was amazing. Like with the anchors that they were firing off, just the characters were just, it was just, man, everything about it is a 10 out of 10 for me. That's just on pure enjoyment. Like I can get critical from a movie standpoint and eviscerate it. No problem. But on a pure fan enjoyment level, like, again, I've watched all these movies, no exaggeration, no less than 10, 15 times a piece.
Yeah, it's weird. I would rather watch, like, thinking about it now, like Rise of the Beast, Dark of the Moon, and Age of Extinction. I would watch those over Bumblebee because I just feel like I'd feel like watching those over it. But
it's nonstop.
But like I just kind of, I don't know, like, yeah, I feel like Age of Extinction and Dark of the Moon could be saved by removal of some of the cringier stuff, and then it'd be pretty awesome. Now, Bumblebee's boring. A lot of it's boring.
Critically speaking, Bumblebee's the best movie.
You're right.
A formulated movie,
clear,
concise, direct. But does that mean it's the most enjoyable Transformers film?
Right.
What are you looking for in a Transformers film?
Yeah, it's a little more smaller scale.
Yeah, it's hard to go. It's hard to backpedal after the last night to like, we just had like the military flying in the upper atmosphere with planes that could barely take it, skydiving into pieces of a planet that's entering Earth while they're like we ain't touching that. Blowing up that piece to make the pendulum swing, them following the zero grav scene and everything with Hot Rod having to shoot them to freeze them in time for a minute so they can. Like, there's so much cool stuff in it. It's just,
I'm just glad we are not in the timeline where we got the World War II Bumblebee movie.
I would have loved it.
Yeah,
because I'm a stooge for this stuff.
Maybe I
don't get it though.
All right. So Skeptic, what's your number one? I've lost track of everyone.
Oh, that's going to be the first movie for sure.
Oh, Transformers 1.
Maybe it's nostalgia,
where Optimus Prime loses. Yep, that one. Yep.
He doesn't lose. He has help.
Where he's laying down on the job and taking a nap.
So you're pretty much explaining the '86 movie. All right, cool.
No, he died in that, and then Rodimus Prime took over, and he died in an epic fight, and they killed each other. And Rodimus and Hot Rod got in the way, and because of his goodness, he didn't want to shoot through him. And then that messed it, that messed it up. And then Hot Rod had to redeem himself throughout the rest of that movie. Like a real movie with a storyline.
Oh,
dude! I mentioned how I felt a little head scratchy with the Optimus ending to the first one, but when you get the rest of the movie and you step back and you look at it, you really look at 1, 2, and 3 as a concise trilogy. And watching the way the fight with Optimus and Megatron went in 1, and watching how it ended in 3, it's just
exactly.
It's beautiful. It's one story arc meant to be. They knew what he was doing.
I don't think that he knew what he was doing. I think they accidentally came upon that. Like, I don't see that he's not playing. I thought there was a writer's strike in part 2. Everyone was saying, so they didn't do anything for it.
There was.
Yes. So I don't think there was. I don't think Michael Bay sat there and thought this through. Like, this is a big arc. He just thought, oh yeah, Shia will win at the end.
No, I know. I meant like I think he intended on it. I think he was guaranteed a trilogy. Like with the success of 1, I think he was guaranteed a trilogy because no matter what, with the success of 1, no matter how bad 2 is, you're guaranteed asses in seats to get your money back.
Oh yeah.
Actually show up.
Yeah.
But they couldn't have planned on the writer's strike. But I think they were saving the Optimus wrecking Megatron moment for the third one. That's why the original plan for 2 called for not Megatron to be the final boss. You know what I mean? That's what fallen.
That's what you gotta do, Jay, man. You gotta watch the third one right after the first one. That way you're like,
skip 2. There you go. Skip 2.
Trust me, I'll skip 1 and 2 and just go right to the third one.
Oh, come on. The first one's great. The first one is so good.
Dude, he can't forgive. In
all sincerity, in the ocean of mediocre and actual bullshit that we get that's not even enjoyable to watch from a fun level, like, because I'm sure everybody on this panel, including myself, has a lot of fun watching bad movies often. I'll rewatch bad because you don't just watch them because they're critically good. Transformer movies stand above par as a whole for just fun movies you can rewatch and laugh at get some cool action out of. Say, why the fuck did they do that? Y'all
Right.
could have made this movie so much better if you would have left that out. But it's fun to do that.
Right,
It's fun
right,
to
right.
think what they could have done different and pick it apart, put it back together in your head. They're so
Yeah, there's value. There's some value to it where there's no value in whatever most of Disney's product. right. There's like, yeah, there's no value in the Acolyte unless you're showing it in a film course to tell people how to not do blocking, story, characterization. Like,
yeah,
I'll say this: at least Michael Bay realized that if Shia LaBeouf has this thought in this scene, and then the next scene happens, he doesn't change. He doesn't change the character.
Really, we know it's fantasy because he goes from one hot model to another hot model, so that's how we know.
Yeah, well, that's fine. At least Michael Bay knew that there was an explanation needed for that. Like, you got to watch The Acolyte, John. Every scene.
You made me not want to watch that so much. He's shaking his head.
No.
Why would I
hold on.
want to waste my time with this?
Every scene, there's a new showrunner and writer. Like they'll say things like, "Wait a minute," but in last scene you said this. Oh no, it's this now. I'm like, okay, it's this now. Okay,
my butt was planted in that
but it's unbelievable.
1977. Why the fuck would I want to watch the?
No, but nobody believes
the script for The Acolyte on sticky notes and lost.
No, but Mark, you know the thing is, Mark, people don't believe you. Like, you're telling them, and they're like, "Oh, it's not that." No.
It is that bad.
It is bad.
Like
this
is not me being excessive. You'll have a scene where like they are not going with the Jedi. Jedi hits him with the sword. I was going to let him go with you.
Yeah. Yes.
What did you just say? That's literally 1, 2, 3 in a 30-second period.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. They show up, and then she turns into this mist and attacks them
for no reason.
So then he's like, okay. So then he thought it was Reva, because she could survive lightsabers. So he's like, well, if Reva's missed, then she could for sure survive a lightsaber, right? And then she died, and she's like, oh, I hate you. I'm like, oh, I was going to let her go. No, you weren't. Yeah, if you were going to let her go, you would have let her go.
The Jedi were asking, like, your daughter wants to come train with us. We're never going to let him go with you. Never. All right, well, think about it. We'll be back. We're not going to force you to, because we're not evil. And then they come back and like, hey, you want to come? Smoke monster. What the fuck? Poke it with a sword. Why'd you stab me? I was going to let her come. Who the fuck turns into a smoke monster to say sure?
No, it's that. It is that. Like, he's not exaggerating that. Nobody believes me because I exaggerate everything, but it's not an exaggeration.
You can call it straight down the line, and it's just as unbelievable as if you were exaggerating.
Yeah. Michael Bay can at least craft, like, you understand what happened. You're like, oh, okay, Shia LaBeouf. Oh, this happened. Okay, now this scene happens. Like, there's an order to the scenes. Like,
and then John Malkovich tries to do karate with Bumblebee in the middle of a high-rise apartment loft.
That's weird. Yeah. All right. So, so the poll. I'll close the poll out. Transformers 1, are you looking forward to it? 22 votes, hell yes, 45%. Good. I'll check it out and see. That's kind of a 9%. Waiting for streaming is 23, and pass, it looks like Kids Junk is 23%. I'm going to end that.
Yo, I'm doing a double feature Saturday. I'm not even playing. I would love to go see her. I'm taking the kids first chance I get Saturday morning, then dumping them off at grandma's and going back to the theater because I already got my tickets for the Christopher Reeve movie at 7 that night.
I know. I can't even, like, I won't even make it for like 3 seconds into the trailer, and I just started crying. I can't do it. Like,
dude, I'm taking Kleenexes, and I told you just drive down here. I'll buy your ticket.
Yeah.
I'm only a continent away.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
south. So I'm south. So gravity will help you get down.
Yeah, that's true. That'll help me. Yeah.
Straight down. Sean, you come too, man.
I have one more thing to say. They should make GoBots movies.
Oh my God.
You know what they should make? Does anybody know? Because this is how old I am. Shogun Warriors. Does it?
For sure.
Yeah, okay. I have the comics.
I had the big when I was a kid. So yeah, that's and I was into GoBots too because
remake.
You know, it's like
this is the original old one.
I had it.
That's not the remake of it, though, is it?
No. This is the real one from them. Someone threw it in the garbage.
Like a $350 toy you have in your hand.
Yeah. Someone threw it. So when I was I had it from a little kid. So, as I was a little kid, someone threw it in the garbage, And I don't know how old I was, like, whatever, 6 or 7 or something.
To beat a dumpster dive.
And whatever it was. And what happened was that my grandfather was the superintendent of the complex, and the superintendent of the other complex, his name is Carlos. He came over. He's like, Jason. He's like, you like those Godzilla and all those. I was like, yeah. He goes, someone threw this out. I was like, this is the greatest toy ever. And I had that thing fight all the GI Joes. So he would fight the Joes, and I would set up. Remember The Boy Who Could Fly? Anyone seen the movie The Boy Who Could Fly?
Yes, I've seen The Boy Who Could Fly.
Yeah, oh my god. With the kid that had the super wars or whatever, and he would bury the guys in the backyard. Like, I took that to heart. I was like, oh, this is a great.
What I did.
Yeah.
My room looked like a graveyard of dead GI Joes.
Oh man, yeah, GI Joe was a good. It was a great toy because it was affordable. Like, you could buy a bunch of them, and it wasn't like Transformers. I had like maybe 10 or something, but like He-Man, I had everything. I had 55 out of the 64 He-Man figures.
So you must be a big Kevin Smith fan. Bringing
the only in all my joking around, the only person that I despise is Kevin Smith. I'm good with Michael Bay. I'm totally good with him.
On his podcast. I don't know if y'all know who Theo Vaughn is. Absolutely love Theo Vaughn. He's a comedian, but he's a one of a kind person. Like, he'll have like a Bernie Sanders on one week, Trump on the next week, then a bus driver on the next week, because like he just wants to talk to people and like on a journey. But he had Kevin Smith on with him, and I get wrapped up into like, man, I can't stand this guy stuff, to forget sometimes that dude is actually just a cool human being though. Like he's really down to earth, but I don't really care for too much of his products these days myself.
They suck. No, if Kevin Smith, I liked the CGI Netflix He-Man. I bought the toys, the one with the groovy song in the beginning. I liked it. I watched the whole thing. It's got like because they came out and they said, here's a He-Man product. This has nothing to do with the old He-Man.
Yeah.
This is a new product for new kids. Instead of He-Man still has the power, and he says I have the power, but he can also give it to other people. So Teela becomes I forgot what she becomes, what her name is. No. So Duncan becomes Man-at-Arms. So Duncan is a kid, and then he becomes Man-at-Arms with the armor. Adam becomes He-Man. Teela becomes a sorceress. Teela becomes the sorceress. Right. So they did it that way. And I was like, this is kind of fun and cool. They had a catchy little song for kids, and it looked cute. And if you don't like it because you think it's trash, perfect. And if you like it because you think it's cool, perfect. But it has nothing to do with the old He-Man. My problem is Kevin Smith didn't say, I'm redoing He-Man my own way. He said, this continues from the old cartoon. I was like, oh, it does? And then he trashed it. I'm like, this does not continue. Don't lie. Just say, it's my own take. I'm changing around some of the characters. It's going to be Teela-centric, whatever.
He-Man in the Master of the Universe cartoon from like 2005-ish, 2006.
I have them. That was great.
That shit went hard, dude.
That was hardcore. Yeah, I have every He-Man thing. And again, New Adventures of He-Man. They called it the New Adventures of He-Man. And some kids thought it was trash.
I had that weird green shield.
Yeah.
Little cross.
Yeah, he's got the cross. Yeah.
I had like that for Christmas one year. My brother got Skeletor's staff that he had.
Yeah. No, and if you like that one, perfect. And if you don't like it, perfect. Because they said
the one-off,
it's the new adventures. It's a different. So then they're telling you, if Kevin Smith and that She-Ra cartoon that came out, they said it's a brand new She-Ra cartoon, new take, has nothing to do with the old cartoon. Okay, then you can judge the thing. See, like Michael Bay is not, obviously they're not doing G1, so it's Michael Bay. It's the Bayverse, so you could judge it as the Bayverse. So I'm not mad at Michael Bay at all. Like, I don't have to like.
As a matter of fact, Amazon ordered one of those jackets, so hopefully it'll be.
Oh, I love the jacket.
Before the next time,
the movie's good, but like that's the one thing they really.
Did you like
Sorry.
it?
Go ahead, Skeptic.
One thing they really screwed up in Doctor Strange is calling it 616. That pissed me the fuck off.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. I don't like those movies. I'm just done with everything. I'll just watch it and consume it and be like, that was kind of fun, I suppose, and then move on with my day. I like Bruce Campbell a lot, though.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for everyone coming on. This is pretty epic. Thanks, Mark, for coming on. I appreciate it. We had to have someone. John needed help in defending the Bayverse here. He was alone.
He wasn't alone.
How am I? Well, yeah, I was like,
in defending the
three of
Bayverse.
us- all three of us were kind of
It's
defending
entertaining.
Yeah, but
I-
Skeptic, you're just here to hang out. You're
No,
not
I'm
here.
not.
You're not here to fight. You didn't come to fight. Let's take a look at that. Let's see. Oh, that is. I mean, that is awesome. Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's from
I'll be a fighter.
Transformers Destiny Alliance, issue 2, page 4 by Alex Moline.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know that name. Yeah. I was trying to get Scotty. Jason Liu lives like 5 minutes from here, and he did the new Dazzler comic, and he was at the shop, and he just signed a whole bunch of them and just put them back on the shelves. So I tried to get one for Scotty, but I couldn't get one for me or Scotty. So I was like, oh well, you're not getting a signed one. I didn't tell him I was going to try to get him a signed one. I just thought if I could get one, I'll send it to him. But anyway,
The extra characters in the first movie, the first Transformers movie, were the best people in the movie for sure.
cool.
The car dealer and
Bernie Mac.
Bernie
Hell
Mac.
yeah, and the black guy with the grandma. Shut up, grandma.
Yeah. What's his name? Anthony.
I don't know. He was funny. Though.
Yeah, and you had
Anthony Daniels
and
No.
the sector guy or whatever.
Yeah,
he was awesome.
That's
He made a comeback
John
in the third one.
DeForo. He was amazing, and then you had Angelina Jolie's father in there,
Yeah.
playing the Secretary of Defense, John Voight.
Oh yeah,
John
they were
Voight, yeah.
funny.
Yeah, it was the guy. Was it Teddy from? Did anyone watch California Dreams or not California Hang Time? It was Hang Time. Did anyone watch Hang Time? No, you didn't watch Hang Time, Sean?
I'm sorry, I haven't.
I know.
Wow, that's shocker. That's a big shocker.
Listen,
I watched all the Saved by the Bells up till the end of it, and I watched Hang Time and California Dreams and all those trash shows.
All
I
the
watched.
trashy.
Those trashy teen shows or whatever.
Listen, all we know from this stream is that Jay and Sean got together and put their list together.
Oh, you're so silly, John. You're terribly
I
silly.
don't know how that gelled together like that. God,
Because Sean
I
didn't even
just
see
made the
Rise of the
list 10
Beast.
You guys had like a
God.
psychic link between the two.
You know, the thing is that if you're like because Sean and I just did all those and then Headmasters too. It's like and then I don't know, just somehow it's like I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this movie.
Here's
now.
the
I don't know.
problem.
You're
You
coming from the
guys are
same
such
place.
Yeah, we're coming from the same place.
You guys are
Yeah.
such die, and again, I'm a fan of Transformers, but you guys are like way more than I am. I mean, you're diehard fans of Transformers. So when Bay's movies came out, you had this preconceived notion, and again, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then when you went to see the movie, you were like, "This is not my Transformers." Where I watched the cartoon and read the comics, but I went to, and I was just like, "Oh!" And again, I told you, I'm a fanboy. Like, if they change things, I'm okay with it. I mean, unless it goes way off, like.
Yeah.
But listen, I mean,
Well, I don't think they messed up the essence of the characters in the Bayverse. It was just a wild take on the stories and the designs.
and they're entertaining.
think-
I mean, it's a lot of garbage, but it's good garbage. So,
Yeah, so but like for Sean and I think by the time 3 came around, like see, we liked 3 and 4 higher than the first because the first one's like this is crap. The second one's like, okay, this is super crap. Then the third one we're like, okay, you know what? I get it now. We're just it's like this has nothing to do with Transformers, and we got to customize to it's like, okay, let's just watch this now just as a popcorn movie. And then you're like, well, this is actually pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff. And then 4, okay, a lot of cool stuff.
Okay.
And that's but last night it's just too it's just the last 20 minutes is good, but like I couldn't take the cringe dialogue.
Was this
And
like the first original movie universe? Because like Terminator is a movie universe that started on screen. Alien, the
Right,
same thing.
Alien,
Predator,
yeah.
the same thing. MCU didn't really get fired off or anything get going like Avengers and Transformers 3 kind of coincide. So really, the Transformers franchise was the first one to build a movie universe out of a comic cartoon property.
like
in
let me
that
think about
scale.
that.
So
like
if these-
Godzilla and the Universal monsters are
Well,
are universes first, but
well, they are, but they don't have like that existing comic lore that people grew up with for decades before
Right.
they started adapting it. So, like, if these Transformers movies, like Transformers 1, was made today, people wouldn't have any kind of knee jerk reaction to the
Right.
differences. If they're like, all right, that's a good on screen adaptation of the take because it's true to Optimus. We got the proper voice and the humans are in there, but there's always humans and shit, and we're used to adding humans to shit. And
Right.
it wouldn't be so knee jerk, but Transformers was our introduction to this, and then we got used to the MCU, and then DC started attempting and failed at kind of kicking theirs off or anything. But before this, you just had like Batman movies or Batman movies. A Superman
Right.
movie is a Superman, and any kind of Matrix universe or Terminator, Alien, it all started on screen. It didn't
Yeah, so it's only ever been films, and then it branched off after that.
after. This is the first time we universed out of the source.
Right. It's like it's a whole universe on. Yeah, because you could have Bayformer fans who aren't going to go read G1 comics or this Skybound comic or watch Transformers
But
1.
if you look at the Turtles universe, that movie came like just a couple years after the comic started. So there was no
I love that movie.
I mean everyone does, but you didn't have like 2-3 decades of people being in love with this version of the cartoon or this version of the cartoon or just the comics, and then they adapted the movie and I don't like it.
Mhm.
J-Man.
Even then, when that first Turtles movie came out, kids were like confused because it wasn't like the cartoon.
Correct.
You know, but it was like the comics, but they wouldn't have read those because they were mature.
You're right.
And they couldn't find them either because it was super underground,
super obscure.
John, what are you going to say?
J-Man, let me ask you this. Okay, like if Optimus Prime would have had his fuck yeah moment at the end of the first Transformers movie, would you have liked it better?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. So that was your major fault with the movie.
Yes, it's. I did say at the beginning of this. There's things that kill me.
I respect that.
I
respect that. But
like if they're like, I liked when and he had help in Rise of the Beast. Noah came in, but ultimately Optimus Prime was the winner. He is the clear, like when you're like, oh yeah, he won in this.
Rips the guy's head off. Yeah,
but
he ripped the guy's head off. Noah helped out.
He got his fuck yeah moment.
He got his fuck yeah moment. And I like Noah because Noah, he's not there to steal it for himself. He's there. I'm here to help and get shit done, and he helps him out. And I was like, I like this guy. Then he transferred, and I like that he felt bad. He's like, oh man, Mirage, this sucks. And then they bonded together like. That's the Nebulon's kind of thing from the thing, and it's like that's kind of cool, and it felt like, and then they try to build them back at the end. I'm like, hey, I like this. They're not trying to steal people's thunder. It's like it's fucking Optimus Prime's the best, and then everyone else helps him out. Listen, you get help. He's not alone. He doesn't need to be alone, right? That's why I like part 3. When he comes in, it's like you're like, whoa, you're like, oh shit, yeah, here you go. That's it. It didn't happen in part 1. So I'm like, it's the last thing I saw in part 1. So I'm like, oh,
he got a couple of those moments in part 1 when he fought Devastator. He dismantled Devastator, but I guess you could consider them underlings and stuff.
Yeah, like I want He-Man to win. Like He-Man has to beat the crap out of Skeletor and win and say, I have the power, and you're like, that's He-Man. Not like
that's why you don't like the Iron Man movies.
I didn't like Iron Man 3 because Pepper Potts shows up. Yeah. And I'm like, why are you here? And why are you doing? I don't like Pepper Potts. I hate Pepper Potts anyways. And then she's just irritating. I can't stand her. It doesn't matter.
I'm a big fan of women. I can't help
being hot has
I could not stand her. I like her. No, she's brutal.
Judge me.
I had no issues with Pepper Potts at all.
She's terrible. Hey, Tony, and she's calling him. She's calling him. It's like I'm trying to save the world, you retard. It's like, get off the line. I can't stand people who. There's the you lied to me, which I hate. There's the I don't believe you, which I hate, especially in sequels.
The same thing.
No, but I don't believe in ghosts. It's like, this is Ghostbusters Part 2. We know there's ghosts. So if the character doesn't believe in ghosts, it's just stupid now.
There was?
It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm saying, like, Beetlejuice 2, she doesn't believe, she's like, I don't believe that my mom could see ghosts. Well, there's massive amounts of evidence. Like, your grandparents saw Beetlejuice turn into a snake and kick the shit out of them. Like, he literally manifested stuff in front of, like, it's just like no. Or the you lied to me, like in Supergirl, like where Lena Luthor's like, you lied to me, Supergirl. It's like, I saved your ass 4,000 times, you dumb bitch. It's like, shut your mouth and like get in line here. So I hate that kind of crap. Yeah. Anyways, but I also I lost my train of thought. I also hate whatever that was, we were talking about. That trope, I don't like.
Whatever topic you come up with, he hates it.
No. Whatever it is, I'm against it. That's what Groucho Marx. No. I don't like.
I'm against. You like the Marx Brothers?
I love the Marx Brothers.
That was from Horse Feathers.
Was it? I don't remember. I actually watched 3 at a time. Like I'll just watch 3 movies. So Horse Feathers, Night at the Opera, and Duck Soup get all mashed together. But I've got How Do You Like That on my. Where's my? Where I have them on here. I'll play this and then I got my Groucho. How do you like?
You haven't played much of your little movies today.
No, I know.
I grew up on Marx Brothers.
Me too. Yeah, I love the Marx Brothers. We'll save that for another stream.
The worst part about Rise of the Beast, I'll say, is
Oh gosh, is what?
and absolutely the worst part is when the little kid's playing the Game Boy. He says, "Oh, I can't beat Bowser." Bowser was never in a fucking Mario game on the Game Boy.
Tango, yeah.
Yes.
Wario.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Look, I've
And he's
learned
into
to.
Sega, so it's like, how does he have a game anyway?
Oh my god, no, I can't go down stuff like that because then I would just hate every movie. I find inaccuracies all the time. I'm like, okay, yeah, that wasn't in this game. No, Mega Turtle was at this level, so that kid wouldn't have been there.
And all the songs that they sing, like that
the songs are wrong. I know.
Like, well, when in the 90s is this? It's like
I don't know. Are you Star Wars?
I mentioned that about when Bumblebee was coming out of the helicopter. Which not helicopter, the plane, and the plane was awesome. I forgot what the name of that Transformer was, but he was cool as shit. The songs weren't lined up, but at that point, you don't give a shit because it's so cool.
Yeah, it's a LL Cool J.
You can't but there's stuff like that in like you could go back through the dawn of time and pick stuff out like, oh, that didn't happen at this point. It's hard to do that. I mean,
see, that's why the Marx Brothers are superior because they brought their own music.
That is correct. Ding, ding. Okay, guys, I really have to go.
No, that's stuck in my head.
Yes, good. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on Friday for Fantastic Fridays. That's it. Take care. Till all are one. Should have said that.
Say that.
Hey, friends. You've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.